Hello and welcome to Season 2, Episode 7 of Blood on the Tamesis, a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set in Oxfordshire, England, 2012. With me tonight...
Philip Bailey playing Silas Shaw of Clan Bruyere.
Bex playing Velvet of Clan Ventry.
Lane playing Joanne Salt of Clan Theodore.
And Carlos playing Theodore Penn of Clan La Sombra.
So I'm going to hand straight over to the players for a recap.
So, Velvet was off to have a chat with his sire at the beginning of the last session. That went well. Velvet hit him and threatened him, and eventually got an address to where Adam was being kept, and got there, and then hit Seth and threatened him. And then found that Adam had brutally beaten and tortured. Over to Phil.
Joanne goes to meet her Thinbud friends and offers them a choice. When her business is done, she is willing to give herself to them for voluntary diablo. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Diablerie, yes.
There we go, I got that right. However, Theodore visits Isabel to discuss his fears and a way to deal with his boon, and his fears are confirmed. This is far above a mage boon and against everything that he stands for.
So the coterie goes to deal with Silas' stalker, but the appearance of Bridget McAllister throws a spanner in the works. She reveals that she's investigating Silas, and after some psychological breakdown from Theodore, I do not appreciate how this was written. So after some convincing by Theodore, she reveals that she knows and has worked with Joanne. Silas gets a compulsion as a result of his interaction with the detective. What is it now?
Chief Inspector McAllister.
Chief Inspector, with the Chief Inspector, and flees to the roof of the building where he hears a noise near him. And that's where we left it.
Yes, indeed. So before we get into the session, we are going to just cover a couple of bits of bookkeeping from the previous session. So one is that this happened, but I didn't state it explicitly just for our audience, which is Theodore, you went to visit one of your touchstones, Victoria Campbell, and of course that time you spent with her has refreshed that conviction within you. So you can now use it once more to repel stains that I may or may not throw at you in the near future. So the other thing to mention is that there were quite a few stains gained last session by both PCs and SPCs. So I have made remorse checks for Seth and for Wallace. I can't, I'm afraid, tell you the result, but they did make the checks. And we didn't do Velvet's remorse check, so we should get straight to that. So you essentially have one dice to roll.
Okay.
Because of the number of stains that you took last session. If it's a success, you will feel sorry about your actions, about breaking the Chronicle tenets. You'll feel remorse. Even if it doesn't, you'll still dislike Wallace, you will still feel about Adam, but you will feel bad about the way you behaved.
Okay.
If you fail the roll, your humanity will go down one, and, you will not feel sorry.
Yeah.
Join me.
Yay, I failed.
So your humanity goes from 7 to 6.
Yep.
This does not have any major mechanical implications at this point. But it does mean your hold on the things you cared about slips that little bit.
Hunger.
Yes.
So I think, per our conversation, I have an additional 1.
Is that from what? Why is that?
Because
From healing.
because I spent a week just sitting around the house. And
Oh yes, sure.
So, okay.
Yeah. And also worth mentioning that Velvet has healed the injuries he received at Seth's hands, because that happened several days before where we are now. So if you are watching us live, this is not the first time I've failed to do remorse checks at the end of the session. So if people get stains this session, and if I look like I'm not mentioning this at the end, if you could please send loud and angry messages at Mitch.
All caps. Plenty of
So that he might remind me, that would be greatly appreciated before we come offline. All right, so it is Monday, the 23rd of April, 2012. And where we've left you, Joanne and Velvet are sitting in Velvet's car, parked nearby to Silas's flat in Cowley. Theodore is inside Silas's flat, having a conversation,
Civilized.
a civilized conversation with Bridget McAllister, and Silas is not in his flat. He's exited his flat and he has gone onto the roof. And we are going to start with Silas on the roof. So the thing to say to you, Silas, obviously, is it was your compulsion that drove you to flee that scene as swiftly as you could. But now that you've had some time up on the roof, alone, safe, you've got a good vantage point from here. You can see out onto the street. There's no one else around. It is a fairly clear night. It's not raining for once. That desperate pressure to get away begins to ease, and you feel yourself coming, back to your own senses again. You will regain a point of willpower. I should say we're not refreshing willpower yet if you spent them last session, just because we're kind of mid-scene at the moment, but we will when there's a time passes. Now, this is not a roof that's really designed for people to sit on. It's not designed for your comfort.
Nope.
But you have managed to kind of brace yourself against it, and you can feel the kind of the slant of it against your body as you perch there. Silas is no stranger to hard to balance or indeed high places in his line of work. He's been there many times. You feel quite comfortable here in an odd kind of way. And as he's kind of coming back to himself, he hears a noise, a sort of scrabbling noise of something else coming up onto the rooftop where you are. What does he do?
I'm going to call Velvet.
Okay. So the sound you can hear is coming from something like 10 feet away.
Yep.
Just so you know.
Yep.
So you call Velvet. So Velvet, you're in the car.
Yep.
With a not particularly happy looking Joanne.
I mean, it's not like a thing that's I'm not used to.
It's
a normal thing, so I don't think it's out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your phone will ring and you will recognise the number.
Silas, you alright?
Keep quiet, I'm going to put you on loudspeaker. Just listen. And I put the phone on loudspeaker and put it in my pocket.
Okay, so you put it on speakerphone, you put it in your pocket.
Where are you? On the roof.
So around this point, you see hands kind of appear on the edge of the rooftop from where the sound is, and someone with quite a lot of effort hauls themselves up onto the roof where you are. Looks like a person. Looks like a woman you would guess in her late 20s, perhaps. She is Caucasian. She's much shorter than you. So are most people. She's about 5'7", you'd guess. She's wearing a hoodie and a kind of a short skirt and kind of like striped leggings. Can you give me a very quick... can you just quickly roll for me 3 dice, including any hunger dice you've got?
2.
2 successes?
Yep.
You think it is a look that it's not an exact copy, but it is similar to one of the characters in Bernard, Warrior of the Night. It's reminiscent of that costume.
Can I have just alerted her to the fact that this call is open?
Go, whatever you want to do.
Sorry, just Silas. I mean, I know he's not talking. I don't know where he is, but he's calling.
Okay.
So I'm listening.
Who are you?
So they are currently kind of like on their belly on the roof. They've just about managed to get themselves up onto here, and they will look up and kind of make eye contact with you, and they say, "It's you."
And who are you?
She smiles and says, but doesn't fully meet your gaze, kind of looks down slightly and says, My name's Liz.
Liz.
I want to... She struggles to get herself stable on the roof, which takes her a moment. And she says, I want to talk to you.
What did you want to talk to me about, Liz?
I'll tell you more when you tell me more.
About what?
She makes an effort to move closer to you. Not very close, but she's about 10 feet away. She basically kind of drags herself gracelessly across the rooftop until she's holding on tight. She doesn't have your kind of grace or ease in this space, but nevertheless, she gets closer to you. And then she says, about immortality. So we're going to cut back to Theodore. You are in the flat with McAllister. She sat down on the sofa like you told her to. You have been having a conversation with her. I believe you've been exchanging some messages with Joanne.
You just handed her the phone, I believe.
Yes, you've just handed her... Did you just hand her the phone?
Her phone, yes.
To talk to Joanne?
Yes.
Okay, so you have your phone. Obviously, Velvet's just talked to you, and then you'll get... Hello?
Bridget, are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm safe. I'm fine. I'm all right.
Tell her to come.
Can you come up?
Of course. I'm going.
So far, just to recap, I've had 3 messages of people who were like, we're going somewhere, I don't know where anyone is.
So,
I continue, well,
sorry, I just got to make a very quick roll. So, you start making your way up. Is there anything you want to say to McAllister before Joanne gets there?
yes, because I know she's not parked in the front street.
Yeah, she's going to take a...
Gonna take
Yeah.
her something. So, you were telling me that you have known Joanne for quite a while. What's your relationship with her?
Well, I'd say over time we've become friends, I suppose, but we're more, not officially, but we're more associates.
What type of endeavors have you been engaging with that makes you an associate?
Well, sometimes in the old days she helped me with, sometimes with cases we have to, some of the people we're investigating or the victims of a crime have a particular injuries and things like that. She'd help to put together cases, evidence, that sort of thing.
Okay. What else?
Well, I know the business you deal in is dangerous, and I know that she had to disappear, for her own safety. And I help with that.
So you're the one who wrote the report of her death.
That's right.
Then allow me to thank you for that. Joanne is under my protection, but those steps were needed.
Like I say, I didn't mean to get involved in her business. I didn't realise. If I'd known, I wouldn't have come.
Well, what we deal with, it's not palatable to a lot of people. But we do what we must.
I understand that.
Mr. Shaw.
Assuming I'm coming in.
Yes.
Shortly, yeah, very shortly.
Mr. Shaw is part of that group of people who assist me.
I understand that now.
But for his own safety, at some point in the future, we might need to do something similar to what we did with Joanne.
I understand.
It's,
And around that point, you hear the door.
So,
Did you shut the door behind you, Silas? As in, so it's locked, or have you left? Did you just? No, you probably just left in a hurry.
Panic.
So the door is slightly ajar for you, Joanne.
So if she's just got out of the car and walked, can I have followed her?
You can absolutely get up and follow her if you want to.
Okay.
All right. So one thing to say is, Silas, you put your thing on speaker.
Yeah.
I'm still listening to this.
You haven't done anything to your phone, have you?
Well, I've kept it by my ear, but yes.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you leave the car, Joanne, did you shut the door behind you? Did you get out and...
No, because I assumed Velvet was staying there.
Okay.
I mean, I'll not shut the door, obviously. I've got a good car.
All right, so Velvet, you can follow Joanne in.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. So the three of you and McAllister will be in the flat.
Come on in. It's open.
So Velvet as well, you'll come in at that point.
Where's Silas?
Outside.
We're supposed to be protecting him. You let him get away?
He is safe.
He is not. I'll leave and try and find him.
Okay. So you're just going to wander out and have a look around?
I'm going to have a look on my phone because if I can see on a map where I think, if I've got his phone signal, if I can ping his phone. I don't know if you've got an iPhone. There's a thing where you can figure out where someone's phone
2000.
It's 2012.
is.
So...
iPhone in 2012.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
All right, I tell you what. Give me a wits and technology roll. See if you can locate Silas via his phone.
Wait, all those what hunger?
Oh, shit. All that hunger.
Oh, what is that? I don't know how to read
One
and a skull.
success and a skull.
And a skull.
Okay, that's fine. You only need one success.
Oh,
Had you not obviously met the difficulty, then you would have got a compulsion, and we'd have all done a little dance. But you,
Paranoia. Moment ever.
Yep.
so he seems to be pretty much exactly where you are.
Okay. Convenient. Yeah, I mean.
He's here. He's definitely somewhere very close by, but he's not right here.
Okay, well, in which case, I will go looking for him just on each floor.
Okay, so you start to do that. So you two are left, but I'm going to briefly come back to Silas on the roof. Yes, so she has just said immortality. You are aware, by the way, of your phone making little noises occasionally, like the sound of a door or like footsteps or things like that. Not massively loud, but you get closer, you can hear it. You're not sure if she can.
And why have you followed me up to a rooftop to discuss this?
Because that's where you went. Because there were lots of other people around. I thought you were trying to avoid them, and I thought that was clever. So I came to join you.
Right.
Because we don't want to be interrupted. We want it to be just us.
So you say immortality, and so hypothetically, that were even possible, why are you interested?
Why? Why wouldn't I be? Wow. With a bit of effort, she manages to get herself... She's sitting. She's now sitting next to you. She hasn't fallen off the roof. She's doing well. So she's sitting next to you on the roof and she says, I know what you are. Can I touch you?
That's
Just...
I just deliberately look at the task and go, you do realise that you're not the most graceful at this, and I'm trained for... You're likely to fall. You do know that, right?
But if I fell, you'd catch me.
I'm a stuntman. I can't catch you from that, not without any equipment.
But you're not just a stuntman, are you? You're...
I'm a mechanic, yes.
Are you trying to test me? Is this a test?
What would make you think that?
Well, because you're here because I wanted to meet you, and you know that I know the truth, and I've come to talk with you. I've shown you that I'm resourceful and I'm clever. I want you to make me immortal too.
Well, Liz We need the surname at least.
I want you to agree first.
Can't agree to anything at this point.
Well, I don't understand. One, I've done everything. I've done everything right. I'm here. And you know what I know, and you know that it would be bad if other people found out. I want us to be friends, Silas. I could be a really good friend to you.
I start moving slowly, using the chain to be very much on the edge of the rooftop.
So you want to shuffle away from her, or just further down the rooftop so you're near the edge?
Further down some near.
Yeah, okay. I mean, you're both quite near the edge, so that's easy to do. She will shuffle down to join you.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're trying to do it in a way that she, like so carefully she doesn't notice, but otherwise she'll...
Not doing it.
Okay. So she'll shuffle down to join you, and then she says, I want it to happen soon before I get too old.
How old are you now?
29.
And you've watched the show. I clearly see you've watched the show.
I've watched every episode.
You realise that things that we certainly explored in the show, being that, of course, the truth about the immortality will mean that you would age and watch your family and friends grow old and die.
I understand that. But it will be okay. Because we'd have each other.
And so definitely up in the rooftop, getting through.
Okay. So it's worth saying, Velvet, you can hear this conversation.
Okay.
So you can hear everything that's going on.
Okay.
Because they're quite close together. They're having this talk.
Okay.
Until you can...
It's not especially windy or wet or anything.
Normally. Instead of, you're hearing them and then you hear the voice.
Yeah,
At some point it'll happen.
Yeah, so you haven't yet heard them in the real world, but you can hear them on the phone.
Okay, fine. I mean, obviously, I'm still looking for them, but I'm not talking. I won't talk to him.
Sure.
I'm concentrating on this
Understood.
and trying to decide what to do about
You
it.
have heard him saying something about it not being as agile as him, and so Velvet can make of that what he will.
Yep.
And I did say that on the rooftop.
He did say on the rooftop. Yeah.
In which case, I'll head to the roof. Fine.
Okay.
Yep.
So you start heading to the roof. Now, this is not like a building with a... this is like a converted house that's been converted to 2 flats that he lives in. So it's not like there's a fire escape or there's a,
Oh, fuck this.
So there are... You can try and get onto the roof. It's just not easy. As evidenced by the struggle the other characters... So is Velvet still attempting to get onto the roof?
Well, I don't know what these two are doing, so, I mean, I think I'm the only person here, so yes.
Excellent. So I'm going to require from you a dexterity and athletics roll.
That is like 2 dice.
All of them are.
It's a good thing it's not strength.
You can rouse, of course. If you want.
One on a skull.
1 and a skull. Okay.
Surely that's enough to get on the roof, right? Not be bested by a roof.
So,
I mean, it's not the zombie apocalypse. You're not being chased.
Yeah.
so I'll come back to you in a moment.
Fine.
So meanwhile, back in the room with Bridget, what do you want to do? So Joanne is in with you, of course, now.
Joanne, glad you could join us. I was telling
Chief Inspector McAllister.
Chief Inspector McAllister about why should she stop her investigation on Silas, as he's part of what we do.
Sometimes we're hired for protection. Mr. Shaw was worried about the stalkers, and I'm sure you saw a few of those cases where the stalkers got a bit close.
Overly enthusiastic.
I know that you deal with some difficult people.
And sometimes people get scared and they don't feel they can go to the police, as you know. Sometimes they come to us.
Well, you know I've helped you in the past, and I'd do so again. Now that you know my history, does that make things right between us?
It certainly makes them better.
You're getting the fucking dirtiest look from Joanne right now.
All I can say is that I would like reassurance on your part. I will believe your word if you would relent.
About Mr. Shaw?
Absolutely.
Yes, it's it won't be difficult. It's not an officially open investigation. It's one I've been pursuing privately.
Understood. On the topic of dealing with difficult people, if at any point there is someone difficult you need dealing with and moves outside the law,
That's what I've been doing.
but not with my knowledge.
Can't get anything past you, can I, Chief?
Well, there's always people who have means to escape the law, unfortunately. And that's something I find very difficult.
Well, now you will not only have Joanne's help, but that of my team. But in exchange, I will ask you at some point in the future to aid us with taking the identity of Silas Shaw out of the grid.
I can do that. She does look at you, Joanne, for she does glance in your direction.
At this point, I turn to Joanne.
I've kind of a lot visibly relaxed a lot
Yeah.
more now.
Because now I can just, put the buttons of my jacket together again. And turn to Joanne, and when she meets my gaze, I withdraw the shadow from underneath her. So she can also feel relieved.
Yeah. Yes, she will feel palpable relief when you withdraw your shadow. You will know that.
I will leave you in the company of Chief Inspector McAllister. I will find Silas. So, until next time. Excuse me. And I just turn around and walk out the door looking for Velvet now.
Okay.
Where's the key?
And I grab them. They're probably next door.
Well, you have the key because he gave you a key.
Oh, yeah. I just put them on the lock on the inside.
Okay.
And let her ring.
Sure.
Hear the ring.
So, you have achieved that. Velvet, you are making your way onto the roof. Would you like to succeed at a cost?
Always.
All right.
He doesn't want to do that, right?
Everyone!
So,
Yeah, but the cost is that Velvet
We don't care what the cost
tears
is.
his
Yes, the answer
suit.
is yes.
okay. So you'd just like to accept.
Yes,
Perfect. So, Velvet will make it onto the roof.
Yes.
But the cost is that he will dislodge some roof tiles in the process, which will fall and break in the pavement below. And also will get his jacket snagged. So you are on the roof, but if you want to move quickly, it would tear your jacket. And it will be a bit of, so you're not easily able to take instant actions. However, you are up on the roof. It's very precarious on this roof. It's a slanted roof. There is a bit of moss on some of the tiles and things.
Yep.
So you can get a bit of purchase, but it doesn't feel very secure up here.
Okay.
You will see the woman as described, who also is holding on very tight to the edge of the rooftop, sitting with Silas. Silas looks quite at ease, and he's perched right on the edge of the rooftop.
Do they have their backs to me, or are they facing?
Let's find out. They have their backs to you.
Okay.
However, both of you will hear the sound of tiles breaking as they hit the floor.
Bloody old roof.
Quick thinking there.
I tell you what, I'll give you a quick charisma persuasion.
Charisma persuasion.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That was so quick. I
No,
have to
that
give you
was
props
fast.
for that.
I'll give you a quick charisma persuasion.
Yeah, I don't have anything up, so I can't add boost to that.
You can add your attractiveness dice, and you can add your fame dice.
Thank you.
They're relevant in this case.
Three successes.
Sure. She doesn't take her eyes off you.
Thank God.
Mesmerized.
She says, "Why do you live here when you could live anywhere?"
Why does anyone live where they currently live?
Because they want to, or because they have no choice. Is this another test?
So why do you think I live here?
I think it's so that people don't realise what you really are. That's what I think. That you're keeping a low profile. That's why you're not the star of that show, isn't it? Because you could be if you wanted to be.
I mean, do you realize how much effort that is? All the lines that they need to learn, the practice and going through after through. And
I don't know, Silas, but if you give me what I want, I will help you in any way you want. If there are things you need, I can help that happen.
Can I call out to him at this point?
You can do what you want, yeah.
I'll say, sweetheart, what are you doing up here? Come back down to here. Try and make my way forward to where I am.
Okay.
Then I'll be like, what? Who is this?
Oh my god.
So wait, you brought someone with you?
Are you saying that to her?
Her.
She
So confusing.
looks alarmed and confused and says, "No, this is just me."
You brought someone with you for a conversation like this? Seriously? Start moving away.
Where are you going?
I'm just up high on the roof. Up high on the roof.
Okay, you move further up the roof. She will attempt to follow you. She follows much slower than you. So you move up to the kind of the apex of the roof.
Yep.
Velvet, you are on the other side of the roof. You will see Silas appear at the top of the roof.
Okay.
And you've unhooked your jacket, one assumes.
Alt.
And now you are
Priority.
slowly making your way up. It feels risky. It feels like soon you might be asked to make another roll, but not yet. But you feel it's precarious. It's
I feel
precarious.
Like I don't have the bother to make a roll. Anyway, I'm going to go with my plan. And so you've seen me. You've seen
I
me.
probably turned
And I've
back.
heard what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear the conversation.
Okay, fine. In which case, I'm not going to do anything for this minute because I'm slightly baffled. Because my comment was directed at him, and he hasn't. He's assumed it's directed at her.
So she will say, what kind of in a hissed voice, but you will probably still catch them a bit. Get rid of them. It should just be us.
Hey, you brought them with you.
No, I didn't. Get rid of them now.
Why should I do what you say? You've come wanting me to give you something.
Because if you don't,
You're gonna what? Push me off a roof?
she looks pretty alarmed.
It sounds exactly what you're planning on doing. Just threatening to shove me off a roof.
She says, "No, I'll reveal your secret to the world."
What? That people have a vampire kink?
She says, "No, it's real."
I pull out one of the
Okay.
things, and people get erotic about it. Here.
You throw it to her.
Yep.
She does not fall off the roof when she catches it, but she does wobble quite alarmingly. All right, fine. Let's say you're going to try and persuade her. Now, she is going to get some bonus dice because she has been following you for 10 years, taking photos of you. But nevertheless, You can still make the roll.
Same pool?
Your attractiveness will count, your fame won't. Actually, no, yes, your same pool, same dice, but she is also going to get bonus dice.
Don't have to use up a good
Rouse.
jacket. Rouse for sure.
You have to rouse before you roll.
Well, then we'll
You can spend willpower if you wish.
That's risky.
That's very risky.
Very risky. But we're trying to confuse this bloody woman.
Too late.
In my head now, I have to get up and.
Messy critical.
Call for 5 successes.
So 5 successes, messy critical. Okay.
I can feel chat going up me right now.
Yeah.
So you're trying to. It's a strange feeling because you are trying to persuade her that you are not, you know, a kindred. And yet there is a part of you that is frustrated that she is not. You know, even that you have to do this at all. This is beneath. It makes you cross. So when you start to persuade her and you throw the tooth, which she stops catch, you find yourself moving quite rapidly down the rooftop towards her to be like, you see, and to force your argument home slightly more physically as well as just verbally. And as you do so, she will look like horrified. How many successes did you get?
5.
5. And sort of just shakes her head and says, "No, it can't be. I'm certain. I have the evidence. I have the evidence." So she has taken some willpower damage, but she is not yet backing out of the social combat.
Goodness.
Are you staying in?
Yes.
Velvet, you can do whatever you want from where you are.
Have I made it to the top of the roof? Because everything I need to do is contingent on me not hanging off the side of a roof.
Give me one more roll. I'm sorry to do this to you. It's just
No,
this
that's
is
fine.
you're on a roof. It's slippery, and
I mean,
this
this
is
is
not
not-
Velvet's
it's not my
forte.
Yeah, this is my forte, not yours.
No, I mean fail.
Just total fail.
Total fail.
Okay. So you don't fall off the roof, but neither do you get to the top of the roof. You find that you slip, you grab hold, and you're kind of like spread eagled on the roof, clinging on for dear life.
Everybody here!
I mean, assume I'm continuing to try.
Yeah. So Silas, are you assumedly continuing this discussion?
Right.
Cool. So what do you say?
I don't really have to ask my thought. Yeah. Oh, so you were talking to me, watching me in bedrooms, or going amongst the king. You've been. What does that prove?
I've seen you feed on people. I've seen you drink their blood. I've seen you.
You are aware of what a kink is, right?
They're not just props. It was too real. I saw it.
I'm a trained performer. What are you expecting to be?
Cool. You can go another round on that.
There we go.
Are you using any disciplines?
I will pop presents.
Okay.
Which gives me.
Or don't.
Assumedly or in this case.
Yeah.
So you're trying to persuade her.
Yeah. And from that.
Are you rousing?
No. There's the charisma persuasion plus the looks plus the fame.
Yep.
Plus the presence plus the.
Yes. Plus lots of things.
Why did you call me?
Did you have you also when you use your presence now?
Yeah.
You also get a bonus because of your blood potency to the. Excellent.
You've been kidding me.
Your dice are not your friend today.
I think willpower is on
Yeah.
the menu.
Yes. Willpower. For 4.
Okay. You flex your.
Big boy muscles.
You flex your presence.
To see it.
That supernatural
Yep.
kind of way you have of swaying people. And she buckles under the force of your argument, but does not break. She physically sways as if your words are like a breeze that is threatening to knock her off the roof. And it looks like she's not concentrating on her balance in the way that she was. She looks very shaken, but she just shakes her head and says, "It can't be. It can't be. I know it. I know it." And she's staying in.
What more do I have to prove? I pull out some body. That's what you use to keep fangs in. We'll keep these fake fangs in. They mold to your teeth really quite easily.
Velvet, you finally unpeel yourself from the roof and manage to pull your head over the edge. Because you can't like climb up. You just have to like drag yourself inch by inch. So your chin is now over the apex of the roof.
You're geckoing your way to
Yeah.
No way, man. I'm standing up because I have dignity. Right. I'm going to fall.
Okay, you stand.
The worst that happens, I fall off the roof. I'm not going to die. So.
Okay, you stand up. You're not sure how long you can remain standing, but for the moment, your dignity, as far as they're concerned, is intact. What would you like to do?
So I've overheard all of this.
Yes.
Okay, so how I'm visualising this, I'm here, and then Silas is here, and then she's the other side of him, correct?
Yes, and they're all down slope.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is go up to him behind him, and put my arms around him.
Yes.
Yeah, whilst I'm talking to
This is actually quite reassuring because it's something to hold on to where you will not fall off the roof.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to play along with what he's been doing.
Yeah.
So that I'm, as far as you're concerned, hopefully as far as you're concerned, I'm the kink.
Yeah.
So.
So go for it. What are you? Are you just doing it physically, or are you saying anything?
Yes, I'll let him know I'm there. I'll say, sweetheart, where did you go? It's time to go to bed.
No.
I'll just be like not biting his neck, but looking like I'm biting his neck.
Okay. You nuzzle his neck with your teeth. All right, Silas, you can make another roll. Velvet is going to be in fact, hang on a minute. What's your persuasion? Are you using presence, Velvet?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, fine. Forget it. Stop. Don't roll any dice. I know your pool. I know his pool, and I know the assist you get. She screams at the top of her lungs, like "No!" and bursts into tears. And you think she's not because she's intending to. You think she's going to fall off the roof. She's just clutching her head. She's lost it. She has you have broken her.
Yeah, I'm gonna move,
this has broken her world.
Grab her shoulders.
Climbing up this roof.
Guide her back to the roof.
Okay, you grab her before she can fall.
Yeah,
she tries to kind of get you off, but not very concertedly. She's just losing it. She starts babbling about, "Can't be. I'm sure this can't be. It can't be."
And so, I'm gonna stop this.
Okay.
I'm going to sort of as if she's pushed me, and so we turn around.
Yeah.
So I fall off, but leave her on.
Okay. So make for me a let's say dexterity.
Yep.
You could say manipulation if you prefer. I don't mind. And performance. Your specialty will apply. Hang on. How many dice you got? Don't roll. Don't roll. Don't roll. She's impaired. You're very good at this. So as you save her in that moment, you make it look as if that effort makes you lose your balance. You twist. You see her lock eyes with you as you pass, and she reaches out towards you. Her fingers brush against your jacket, but not enough to get a strong hold, and then you fall.
I'm hanging on to him. What's happening to me?
It's up to you. You can choose to let go of him.
Fine. Then in which case I will do that.
Okay. So he falls, and she looks over horrified, and he hits the ground with a thud and then lays there unmoving, much like a corpse would. She looks like she's going to be sick and is incoherent.
Phone Theo.
Okay.
Probably downstairs.
Sure.
I heard the scream.
If you've heard this, then I don't.
So I just approach where he is.
Where they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
I
can
tell them where they're.
Yes, you can very easily team up.
And actually, if I see Silas laying on the ground,
Yeah.
I go back inside. instead of just going to him, I go back inside to where...
Sure. Is there anything you would like to say with McAllister whilst it's just the
just
two
like
of you?
Sure.
Yeah. So you're together. It feels much safer. There was something when you came into that room. You felt very, very uptight, but now things feel a bit more normal.
Yeah, he's.
She looks quite shaken, visibly shaken, and you know she's good at hiding it. So, you know that she.
I rolled for Blush of Life earlier, and I'm good. So
Yeah.
Can just reach out and hold a hand and I'm sorry that you had to deal with this. Did I ever tell you the reason why I faked this all?
No, I didn't ask. I know that it...
A while ago, a surgery got botched and kind of running my hand over my face to bring attention to it because patient was infected, blood to blood infection. I'm not long for this world. I caught something and...
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault, don't worry. I just thought that in the time I had left, I was going to do this. I was going to try and make the world a better place.
It's not fair, Joanne, that things like this had happened to someone like you. Someone nice, kind. And yet so many other people...
The man you...
Wicked people. Get nothing.
The man you encountered earlier today, he's... When it hurts too much, he's the one I've hired to... He's a bit overzealous at times, but...
She looks quite shocked by that. Well, I should probably go.
Yes, I'm glad beyond words that you're safe.
I thought something was... I thought you weren't quite yourself. It's getting worse fast, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
I'm just glad we got to be friends.
Well...
If you need anything, let me know.
Well...
Do what I can.
Likewise. You know where I am?
Yes.
So she will start to excuse herself, and she gets to the door around the time that Theodore...
Yeah.
Well, she probably hears the scream and comes out running.
That's true, actually. She will... Sorry, yes. She will hear a scream, and she will dash outside. So as she's leaving, that kicks off. So...
She probably sees Silas.
So I kind of I've resolved the situation.
And then you hear screams, thuds.
Here we go.
So...
I'm pretending I didn't hear it.
Do people have kind of... Obviously, I know what you're up to.
Yep.
So Silas obviously is just laying very still, like a dead person. Are you intending to do anything with Liz on the roof? She has lost it.
So wait, Liz is not with him.
She's on the roof. He made it so that when she was about to fall, he basically grabbed her and made it so that instead of her falling off, it was like the act of saving her.
Fell together. Okay.
No.
No, he
saved her
saved
at the expense of his own
life.
Okay.
Air quotes again.
Okay. Well, so she's losing it.
She's lost it. She is well past losing it.
Okay.
She's weeping. She is half being sick on the roof. She is babbling incoherently. She is
Sorry for her.
Okay. So
all over the place.
I mean, yeah, but she's being sick and my coat, right? So I have to. I mean, I do have to do something about this. So I will. How near am I to her? Can I get
quite close? Yeah.
So I will. I will see if I can just keep both of us where we are and talk her into calming down. So I will use it presence.
Yep, you can do that. Yep.
Yeah, and then my intention is then to try and get her off the roof.
You can do that. That's pretty trivial. What about you, Theodore? What are you up to?
Well, when I hear the screams and hear the Silas thing, when I'm coming in, probably Bridget's coming out, and I go, I think we're gonna need those papers sooner than expected. Joanne, make sure Silas is okay. And I just escort Bridget to where Silas is.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try and... You want me to roleplay? Because it's basically me telling... It's like...
No, I think
Joanne will take care of him, but I want you to use this now.
Yeah.
However you see fit.
All right, cool. So basically, you are going to be there saying, "Oh my God, he's dead," right? So I don't think we need to play through this because you all have relevant pools to make this happen. I don't think there's any particular threat to you. So Bridget will kind of orchestrate the emergency services and then give you leave to go. Obviously, there will be neighbours and there'll be things, but she will field a lot of that. What's your intention with Liz? Are you intending to... Are you just kind of leaving her for the authorities to deal with? Or are you... What's your plan, Velvet?
So, my assessment of this situation is that he's been successful in convincing her she was wrong, which means I think I can let her go with the services.
Okay.
Yeah.
So...
The way that the story is Silas saved her, so it's not like she's in any type of problem.
Yeah, she seems racked with remorse and guilt, and that she's probably she's lost her mind.
Yeah, I mean,
and she's distressed and everything else.
Well,
So
they can help her better than us.
Yes.
So suffice to say, what will happen is an ambulance will turn up. Silas will be loaded into the ambulance, and McAllister will get into the ambulance with you, and the ambulance will drive away.
Yeah, and we will follow it.
The police will also turn up, and they will take Liz with them.
Okay. I mean, I'll
because she is clearly not in a fit state to be left.
Yes.
And things will wrap up sort of from there.
Yeah, but at some point in the evening, tell McAllister that after they have done whatever they need to do, we're taking the body with us.
She will communicate to you that there is a point where that will be possible, but it'll be difficult to do at this time because effectively he's with a team and da.
Okay.
Unless you're going to force the issue and say no, I want to.
How long?
She will say she'll contact you at the time.
In the meantime, where's his body going to be?
It will be it'll probably be taken to the police station. Sorry, to the
morgue.
To the morgue even. So his body will be in the morgue. I mean, obviously it's just happened. It's not like a lot is going to happen with it now, but that's where it will go. But at the moment, he's with a team of people in an ambulance. So.
Okay, I want access to it restricted, and I would like to have, if you can make space of maybe 10-15 seconds for me.
Yeah, she will. She can arrange that.
I can go in.
That's not impossible. So. Spinning along a little bit. There essentially comes.
What I want to do is just go in, tell her to stay by the door, go in and use my knife, make a small incision on the back of his thigh, put my fingers in so they get a little bloody.
Yeah.
And then pretend that I put something on a handkerchief on my way out, and I don't want many people looking at the body.
Sure.
And then put in the bloody handkerchief.
Are you saying anything to Silas while he's... Because you will be given some time if you want time with his body.
Oh, yes. I will just, raise a head and we'll get you out of here tomorrow, buddy.
Fucking hurt.
Just shut
up. How much damage does it take for the fall, by the way? Because I'm pretty sure...
Oh, that's true. Yes.
That's a good amount of superficial.
Let's say you took 3 superficial from the fall.
Yeah, so on my way...
Because you were not trying to fall in a clever, stunty, protect myself way. You were trying to fall like, how would a person who was going to die fall convincingly?
let me break many bones.
Yeah, let the crack of breaking bone echo into the night was your plan, and you did it really well.
That's my new death metal band.
It was... Well, Barnaby will definitely listen to them. So, okay. So at the end of the night, so you're assumably all going back home? Yeah. Is anybody doing anything else I should be aware of with you 3 before I come back to Silas?
I'm just going to very quickly talk to Theo and say, I am sorry about the text. She means a lot to me.
We will discuss that later. In the meantime, go talk to her before we leave and impress upon her the absolute need of having just probably next of kin, not moving the body around, not pushing it outside. It stays in that room until it's given to us. I don't want anyone being cavalier and taking Silas in the middle of the day for a forensic check. So I'm trying to cover those angles.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. So you're gonna talk to McAllister about that. Yeah.
Essentially, same procedure that went down with me.
Sure.
Do you think I'm driving them all back?
Yes, I imagine you are, because the Silas mobile.
I mean,
has no
I feel
driver.
awful that my life has come to driving other people around.
It does feel like a fall from grace.
Well, look at the bright side. I don't have to argue with anybody. I'm staying. I
In the
have
front
shotgun.
seat. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
so anything you three, you're in the car. All of this has happened. Silas has been taken away. Blah blah blah. You're driving back, assumably, to the Haven.
Okay, in
So,
the way back, I just say. So, Joanne, you were saying about the text message you sent. There is something quite important about the way we relate with each other, and also the way we interact with others. Some people, and I slightly glance towards Velvet.
You will notice this, Joanne, of course.
Yeah.
Some people are taking a liking of disrespecting either those who trust them or figures of authority or people it's not in their best interest to disrespect. And that's when I just sort of slightly dramatically just turned around.
I'm looking out the window.
So I can be looking at her.
Sure.
I suppose I don't need to tell anyone how I feel about respect.
And you've never let emotions get the better of you?
Absolutely. But when I do,
And
I just let it hang in the air because it's like she might remember the time I lost it.
Yeah. They all remember the time you lost it.
Everyone remembers.
And the fucking cleanup.
Other than that, I believe it was a successful night. Let's just hope Silas doesn't get too bored in that freezer. And I just sit up straight, looking ahead.
He's a man alone. He's not going to get bored.
I make no comment.
All right, so
That's her trying to crack a joke to
Yeah.
kind of like...
yeah,
Trying to
but everyone's like,
I-
we're far too clean-minded to get that joke. Well, what are you talking about? I'm sure right now anyone in chat is going, we don't understand. What does this mean? So you go back to the Haven, and the rest of there's not a lot of the night left. The rest of the night will pass kind of fairly.
I check on the security guys.
smoothly.
Vance is back from his leave.
Yeah, Vance is back.
I need to speak to Miyuki.
Okay, so Miyuki.
Tonight, it could always be the next night.
Sure. So Miyuki obviously isn't in your Haven. She's in the other one in hiding at the moment.
I also need to eat.
Ah. How hungry is Velvet?
I'm hungry of 3.
Hungry of 3. Hungry of 3. How are you intending to feed?
I'm going to go to my house, obviously, and feed on my family.
Oh, well, of course. Well, in that case, how much do you want to feed on your family?
Well, I mean, that depends, because if Jessica's in,
Drink her dry.
yeah, I mean, I'll have 2 dots. If she's not in, then I've got to find someone else to eat.
Jessica will be in. So
Great.
So essentially, is there anything else you want to do whilst you're at your house? I should say your house has not changed radically since the last time it changed radically.
Okay, yeah, no, I mean, I will check on Freddie.
Yeah. Fishlight has been left on.
It's a shocking descent.
It starts with the fishlight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Into just, I mean, how they can live this way, I don't know. But I will, if I can, I mean, last time that I was here, I went into Freddie's room, it was fine.
Yes.
So I have no reason not to try and do the same thing again.
Sure. So you're going to creep in. Now, Freddie is actually...
Is he awake?
No, he's asleep.
Great. That's even easier.
He is asleep.
So, in which
The room smells a little bit of teenage boy. You are aware.
Yep.
But otherwise, it will occur to Velvet when Velvet creeps into the room. Not only is Freddie asleep, but he has not shut down his computer.
Oh, well, obviously I'll spy on him then.
Okay, so you go to his computer.
Yeah.
What is Velvet intending to do?
Well, the first thing I want to look at is what is he left open? What was the last thing that he was looking at? Or has he left anything open? I mean, like.
Yes, Windows and applications and things. Yes. So there'll be various social media.
I already stalk him on social media. So
Yes.
I don't need to do that.
But it will occur to you, you can now read his private messages and you can see his friends and all that kind of stuff.
I should do that for sure.
So,
Take pictures of it on my phone.
okay. You will discover that he is in a band. But it's early days.
Okay.
You will also discover that he has more than one girlfriend. And by the look of the messages, you are pretty sure that they are not aware of each
They're
other.
not aware of each other.
So there's this thing called polyamory.
Just thinking, I'm just wondering about how hypocritical I feel at the moment.
Unfortunately, none of his statuses tell you his sexual orientation.
Do any of the messages?
No.
Okay. Okay. I'll need to leave and think about this.
Sure. So, assumably you go and you feed upon Jessica.
Yes.
And as ever, you feel much better and also kind of much worse in different ways after doing so.
Yes.
But you do feel... It's that horrible thing where when you're hungry like this, the arguments for not feeding on her kind of fade into the background a bit and become less relevant. But then after you've fed, they suddenly come back really strongly and it's like, oh, what have I done?
Okay. Well, then I'll leave and go back to the haven.
But of course, and there was also that really awful thing when you feed on her and she's asleep like this, she nevertheless reacts pleasurably. And seems to kind of, her body will move closer in towards you until you've finished. And then even when you finish, there's an element to which, she kind of doesn't want you to go, although she's asleep. But, that kind of half-hearted kind of move with a hand. Do you turn off the fish light?
Yeah.
Excellent. So, order is restored, and you leave, and you go back.
I feel like I've done my family a good job.
Yes.
I've looked after them and protected them, and now I will leave.
So you will find out between the two, via Joanne, that McAllister is planning to get Silas's body, or create an opening for you to remove Silas's body late, like in the small hours of Sunday night. So as in moving into Monday. So the beginning of Sunday night. Is anyone doing anything radical, or I will come to you, Silas, because something's going to happen with you, but for the rest of you.
Isabel, checking with her.
So the regulars. I'm going to come back to you with some visible stuff later, but not this night.
Send Adam my apology.
Okay, so you send Adam a very specific apology message.
Yep.
Just give us for the audience, a quick sense of what that means.
So he's going to receive like an envelope which has like a phone with a headset in it, but it also has a note and a ticket.
Yes.
To the landscape gallery at the Ashmolean, and then there is a message on the phone, which is the apology.
Okay.
And then I need to find Miyuki.
All right. Well, you have Miyuki's number.
Yeah, I mean, I'll phone her up. Oh no, actually, I know where she is.
You took her there yourself, and you remember that she was specifically instructed not to leave under any circumstances.
So I will go to her.
All right, so you going to see Miyuki is simple. So you check in, obviously, with Isabel, as you have been doing each night. You will be aware she is trying to find out information relating to people like Anolf and Amargo and things for your plans, but this takes time, obviously. She has not told Meliore of what's going on. So things, unless there's anything you want to bring to the table, but that's kind of an ongoing thing.
Let her know that I'm planning to go ahead with the tea ceremony.
Yes.
So I'll try to get a hold of Sir William and Sir Anolf and Amago.
She will ask if you want her help in arranging it, or whether you want to do it yourself.
If you can assist me, because this is gonna involve Anolf.
Yeah, she will, after a solemn moment, agree.
It's okay. She doesn't have to be there. Just help me arrange it.
So, Joanne, anything from you? No. All right, Silas, you're playing dead.
Yeah.
That's really easy in the day. It's perfect. Of course, eventually you awake the next night, and
don't go hungry.
You don't, or do?
No, don't go hungry. No.
Okay, so what hunger is Silas currently on?
1.
1. You're laying there. It's very quiet. No one else seems to be here. You're in a very confined space. It's very dark. Is there anything you want to do?
Start singing.
Silas, I want to be patient. Patient at the moment. We're just checking if it's on his head at the moment, or if it has been removed as you would expect it has.
Your hat?
Yeah.
Your hat is not on your head. After a while, there will be movement. You will hear movement, and then you will feel that you are moving as the drawer you're currently loaded onto will roll out. Are your eyes open or closed?
If my eyes were closed when I woke up, I will close them.
Okay. So it doesn't get any lighter, particularly because your eyes are closed. Although you're aware of there is some light in the room. So someone has brought you out, but they're not saying anything. You think they're very close to you. I assume you're just not moving.
Yeah.
After a while, you hear a voice, and it says, "Are you still in there?" It sounds familiar.
I'm just gonna do I have any idea who it might be?
No, not just from one sentence. It's just you feel a niggling sense of you've heard that voice before.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna lay there.
Someone nudges you.
None.
Nudge you again. If you can hear me, give me a move or something. Oh. Well, all right. So you feel someone putting their arms under your legs and under the back of your shoulders.
From the radiation sensors, do I have any idea now?
I tell you what, I'll give you an intelligence. I tell you what, just roll 4 dice, include your hunger, and we'll see what you get. Anything?
I got 1.
Okay, you are relatively sure it is not someone who's alive. You think that the associate memories you have is someone from like your vampiric life rather than your human life.
I'll crack an eye open.
Okay, so you see Mr. Whispers is leaning over you. She's currently in the process of about to lift you off the...
What the hell are you doing here?
Well, I heard you died, and I didn't want them to examine your body.
Oh, there's a plan to get me out. Don't worry.
She removes her arms. Well, I had to be sure. I didn't want... I thought you were in torpor.
No. I'm just hurt.
Do you need anything?
If you could help with making sure things go smoothly in any way you can, so this gets done.
Sure.
I appreciate it, because sooner this gets done, sooner all that crap.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
She rolls you back into the... So sometime later that night... Oh, sorry, hang on. You go to Miyuki.
Yes.
Yeah, so in this...
Fortress.
In this fortress, which is actually a house, but it's quite a discreet house. You find Miyuki. So what do you want to say? She looks very pleased to see you, by the way, because she looks maybe like she's slightly bored.
Yes.
Although I say she's slightly bored, she also, when you arrive, will put away a whole load of things she seems to be involved in. But she seems very grateful for the company.
How are you doing? It's not. I mean, I guess it's not great not being able to go out, but it's for the best.
It's fine. I'm looking forward to it being over.
Well, I can understand that. I wondered if I might ask your advice about something.
Ah, of course.
About Theodore.
I am very good at giving advice about Mr. Penn.
The thing is, I let him down.
Ah.
And I have to apologize for that. But I don't know beyond what I do in the future what the best way to go about that is. And I thought, because you know him a long time, that you might have an idea.
Yes. I can tell you exactly what you should do.
All right.
You should make an effort to take him somewhere he likes. A good
He's
place.
not going to take his shirt off, is he?
She shakes her head. Unless you take him to some baths.
All right, good to know.
And take him to a place that he will enjoy being in.
All right.
And then you should explain exactly what you did wrong and why you are so sorry about it in as much detail as you can remember. You should tell him why he is so important to you and why you feel so sad about having let him down. Tell him make it clear that not only that you are sorry, but you know why you are sorry, and that you feel deep personal shame for having let down such an important person in your life.
Spot on.
Just play to his ego, yeah.
And when you are finished, promise that you would never do such a thing ever again.
All right.
And swear so in the name of your family.
Which family?
Your family.
I have more than one family.
The family that is most important to you.
Right. All right. That's good advice. Thank you. I
You're
knew
welcome.
you'd have the answer. No, I brought you strawberries.
She says, ah. She says, oh, but you have brought so many strawberries.
You like them, right?
Oh, yes, I do like them, but I would not want you to feel obliged to bring me strawberries every time you come to visit.
Well, what else should I bring you?
Strawberries are fine for now. She'll take them.
I'll say, well, whenever you change your mind or you get bored of them, then you just let me know.
I will remember.
All right.
And whenever you need advice about Theodore, you should always come to me.
You know what? You're right. Because this was a short conversation and it was really goddamn helpful. And it's important. It's important to me to do this right.
Okay. And you...
Like in the... Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
okay.
not like... Bye.
Yeah. Yes, you have some pleasant small talk and then you leave. So, suffice to say, you will get given a window to remove Silas. Various paperwork and things will be covered. I will make some rolls a little bit later for the relevant roles from the relevant SPCs to see how well they cover his tracks. I do believe there were some bonus dice, however, in terms of motive and things that you were setting up in the past. So that's all good with your paperwork. So I have the difficulty for that. McAllister obviously will also create a kind of part of that obfuscation that we'll come to. Suffice to say that by Monday, you will all be back in your haven. And I'm very happy for us to talk about kind of scenes and things that we do. So what I would like to do is get a sense if there are any things. I know that there's going to be a scene with you and Isabel. You want to have a scene between the two of you, which is absolutely fine. We'll do that. And some of you, I believe, wish to visit Touchstones.
I mean, I do, but I need a helicopter. So I need to apologise to Theo first.
All right. So we'll do apology, then helicopter, and Silas.
There's one thing that Silas would do upon his arrival back to the Haven, that evening, the first evening he's back.
So so actually, it's like the last bit of Sunday. Like you're in Monday morning, really. Sure. So the four of you are in the Haven. Yeah. Let's say you are in your sitting room with the very comfy-looking chairs, very stylish, nice artwork around you. Feels.
I'm checking all press and digital and printed.
Yes.
For.
So there will be stories. Actually, hang on. No, it's only one night, so that it won't have hit the news.
Monday, by the time he comes back.
Yeah, but this is like 3 a.m. Monday morning or something. Yeah. So there's nothing in the news yet about what's happened.
Cool.
His agent has not yet released a statement, for example.
I'm pretty sure that Velvet would have ensured that there would be some sort of grand piano or something like that in the. Something regal.
At least 3/4. At least.
Yep.
I mean, it sort of depends what style I was going for in the room. If it fitted with it, then fine. But yes.
Right.
But yes.
I mean, we have a tennis court.
Yeah, I love the fact as well that like a lot of the serious arguments are about who sits in the front and do we have a piano in our living room.
We have a tennis court. I mean, if the house has a tennis court, it has to have.
I mean, if you can play the piano, I'll buy a piano. If none of you can play the piano, I'm not fucking buying one. So.
Fine. So Silas is sat at the piano.
Silas also blushed in life and not got hungry. Because he's been told about the passion of the brew of blood and the whole leaving this now definitely leaving mortal life behind. Mm-hmm. He just starts playing and singing.
Okay.
Playing and singing.
Is there a particular kind of music that he is?
He starts with empty chairs, empty tables, and just starts with sorrowful song and just continues playing. Right, like so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you're playing, I'll sing because I can sing.
Okay.
I have performed tea ceremony. Can I play chopsticks?
It was just I was going song after song and crying.
Okay. So it is clear, particularly even to Theodore, that Silas is obviously emotional and is playing, and there is a kind of a theme to the music that he is playing. There are tears of blood that run down his cheeks, and a lot of things that are kind of going into the music. You're joining him.
Yeah, if he's at the piano and I obviously can see that this is upset. Sure. So I'll go to him and sit with him and join him. I mean, I can't play, but I'll sing.
So a sort of an oddly kind of heartfelt but also sort of pleasant in its own way. Time passes. Perhaps some of you may also remember the own times where you say goodbye to your families or your lives or things like that. Yeah, some of you, it might have been too long ago.
I think because Joanne never got to say goodbye, she's kind of just like on the sofa, kind of like...
Yeah.
In her own head.
So it's a sort of reflective time. When it comes to a close, when you stop playing, is there anything you want to say to them, or are you just leaving it?
He just plays throughout the night.
Okay.
I don't stay the whole night.
Okay. So it's like, whoa, come on.
It's going to be an all-nighter.
Come on.
He's lost in song.
Okay.
I mean, assuming that he seems like stable and he doesn't seem like he's going to lose his,
No, he won't seem like that. He's just upset,
yeah.
And he's kind of channeling that through the music. All right. So before the break, let's touch on a few of these scenes. I'm intending, although we'll take as long as we need on those scenes that we play through. So it's not like I'm in a rush, like do the things you need to do. But I'm intending to move forward. Something that you will become aware of is the date for the games will have come out, which is going to be on Saturday the 16th of June. And it's being hosted in Oxfordshire in this particular iteration, though sometimes it is hosted in other domains. And whilst the three of you are not as up on things as Silas is, you will know that it involves the domains of Cambridge, London and Reading, as well as Oxford.
Reading.
Good old Reading.
Yeah, that thing that I'm doing.
So let's touch on Velvet and Theodore's conversation. No, let's not. Let's do Joanne and Velvet's conversation.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if we're all in the kind of main living room,
Yes.
this conversation won't happen there.
Yeah.
So, if can I assume that at some point you'll leave the room?
Yeah.
Okay. In which case, when that happens, I will get up and follow her.
Okay.
Not in a creepy way for once.
Okay.
And I don't know wherever you're headed to. Whenever we get to a point where we're not around other people.
So where is Joanne going? Where might she go?
I think probably just into the surgery to just sit there for a bit.
Okay. It's quiet in the surgery. There are no patients in here. There is still, obviously, the freezer. Yeah.
On the normal surgery door.
Come in.
Hey. How you doing?
That's been better.
I mean, is that your normal level of been better, or is it worse? I don't mean that as a joke. I saw you chain around your neck. I saw you hanging on to it, and I have a chain I wear around my neck, so
I can't get anything past you, can I? And you can't get anything past me at this point either.
I can't climb a roof, but
What?
never mind. I just
Is this an American metaphor? I'm not that. Okay.
no. It's a miscommunication. I don't know what it is, but
Duty made it for me.
oh, right. You guys were a thing?
No. But she was.
Wait a minute, you don't know? You haven't asked her?
No, she. It's not like that.
Oh, right. Why is it?
I can trust you, can't I?
Of course you can.
I'm conflicted, okay?
What about?
I didn't get to say goodbye like Silas did. And I left behind the woman I dedicated my life to. And now I'm feeling something towards someone else. And it feels like I'm betraying her. I know it's impossible, but I can't.
I get it. I do. I get where you're coming from. You know, it's not a betrayal.
I'd never looked at anyone else. Ever. In the 7 years we ended up being together, I never even so much as looked at anyone else. I dedicated my entire life to her, and now even something small on someone else, that's... I can't reconcile that. I can't.
You've got to give yourself some time. This only happened relatively recently with Drew, or it's been a while.
I don't know when. Initially, I really can't get anything past you, can I? It's year, 6 months. I've lost track of time, but
you said to me a few years ago that August wanted you to be happy. And you're right. That it sucks that you didn't get to say goodbye. But I don't think that changes what she wants for you. I think I don't think it means you have to pursue it now. You know, sometimes in life, two people meet, they're not in the right place in their life for that to work out. But, you know, Adam said something to me recently that sort of applies here. He said, you know what, we have forever if we don't mess it up. So you might need some time to sort out where you're at with this. And you might not want to pursue it, but don't push her away.
Exactly. I want exactly the opposite. As selfish as that sounds.
It ain't selfish. Why don't you go meet her for a cup of coffee? You know, it's coffee, not marriage, right? You deserve this. How else are we getting through this life? We don't have the small things.
I thought everyone seems to be giving up the small things.
I'm not. That's all I got. And, you know, there's problems. You gotta work out how to make it work. But, I don't know. I think if you don't have love, you don't have anything. And I think, well, she gave you that. So,
And then I made her one in return.
alright. So there's something between you. You gotta see where it goes. But she's gonna have the same perspective as you, right? It's one of the benefits of being like we are. She ain't gonna be in a rush either.
I suppose so. This is going to sound like a weird segue again, but it feels like when I look around at everyone else in this world that we're now in, who you are, who you were, it's not important anymore. I can't let go of that. I can't.
Why, you can't let go of who you were?
No.
Why should you? I don't...
Everyone just falls into line around here. They become whoever the fuck those knights, elders, whatever. They just become what they want them to be.
You know, I tried not to be that. Tried not to fall into that line, and did not go well. That's the crux of it. You know, I thought I have this, you know, I get this life. I can be this way. I can say what I want. I can say what I think. What's the worst that Wallace is going to do to me, right? But I didn't think on that, because he didn't do nothing to me.
And reason number 2 why you get what I'm getting at here?
I do. But I think you gotta play the game. You don't gotta do it while you're here with us, right? I mean, you sort of do with Theo, that's important. But you and I, we have a similar perspective on this. And I hate it. I hate what I have to be. I hate what I have to say. I hate what I have to do. But if we don't do this, it's going to make our life a whole lot harder. The important thing is you don't hate on yourself for it. Because you know who you are. You still have those values. You are still the same person that you were. You're smarter than them. You know that as well as I do. So you tell them what they want to hear. You tell them, yeah, sure, you know, I'll do. Jump how high you say when you say it. and then they take the right off you. And that's when you get to do the things you really want to. Take my advice. You get something going with Judy, you don't tell anyone. Tell no one, not even us. The more people who know about it, the more danger you're in. So, but then that's yours. They don't know about it, they can't take it away, they can't fuck it up, they can't do any of those things. And then that's your piece of this world. The piece they can't touch.
She kind of just looks around at the surgery and goes, this is that for me.
Well, it seems like you do good work in here. And, I mean, a lot of things we do seem to end up here, right? And thank you, by the way, for coming when I called you.
What else are friends supposed to do?
I know some folks will want to turn up.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I'm going to bed.
And at that point, we'll take a break.
I will leave. I will definitely.
So shout-outs. Do we have shout-outs this week?
I don't think so.
Oh, but I tell you what, we do have a reminder of our giveaway.
Oh, yes, we do.
So, for those of you who did not join us last week, we are doing a Season 2 giveaway of the Herald's Coin from Season 1, which looks a lot like this and has the blood on the Tamesis vampiric Oxfordshire logo on it, and also has on the two sides the oath that is sworn by the kindred of Oxfordshire to the prince and to the city.
Not the whole oath, the main parts.
Yeah, the
Chronicle
Chronicle
tenants.
tenants parts, the parts that matter to your soul.
The parts matter deeply to me.
So if you would like a chance to win it, then what we would like you to do is to support us either on Twitch or Patreon. If you already support us on Twitch or Patreon, yay, thank you very much. You're a great person and you're already in. If you're already in and you manage to persuade a new person to come and support us, then they will obviously get a chance to win, but you will get an additional chance to win. Just let us know whoever it is you've brought in, and we will add that to our tally.
Get convincing, get convincing.
The draw is going to be in session 10 of season 2. So you've still got a few weeks. Fairly soon. This is session 7.
So, yeah, okay.
So in 3 weeks' time.
3 weeks
Yes.
time. And that, I think, is that
23rd
for
of
me. Coin, goodness. Woo.
Relationship map time.
Okay, so first announcement. I did not make any cock-ups this week.
Whee! Yes!
Take that, season 2. So the first thing is I've updated Denton so that now he is got a tag.
Could we possibly
Yes.
skip the relationship map for a moment? We're just having some technical difficulties.
Technical difficulty.
Oh, okay.
Is there like a picture of a vampire clown and a little vampire girl with a blackboard?
I wish we were that prepared.
We're having technical difficulty.
Do you want me to? I can still say the updates, even if they're not. Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay.
Thanks, Carl. So, we've updated Denton's clan, so he's now tagged as Malkavian. Added Jenny Watson, Silas's friend, to the ever-growing pool of mortals that he's attached to. And then I updated the description for Inspector McAllister, so that now she's Chief Inspector, and now she looks older. And we added a connection type between her and Joanne, which is for an ally, and that is a solid
I think
purple
she's from a
line.
contact.
I don't know, isn't that right?
Ally.
Okay.
Thanks. Yes, not a cock-up.
Yes. I mean,
Stop trolling me.
not that I'm trolling you. It's like I didn't know whether she was an ally or a contact.
And then also, lastly, I added Kirsty's picture the fantastic picture of the Herald.
Very good
which
one.
is awesome. The best NPC in life. So, he's like living my best life. I'm just
He's
gonna...
definitely a favorite of the ghouls.
Yep. And so that is the relationship map.
That is the relationship mob.
It is done.
Do we have questions, Callum?
Oh, we have plenty of questions.
Excellent, let's get them rolling.
Oh, we have questions. Shoot him!
So Alright, first question. What mythical creature do you think you are?
What mythical creature do you think you are, Peter?
No, is there a sort of magic sloth or something out there? I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
I feel like I should have considered this.
I do feel like I'm underprepared for this,
Yeah.
especially being asked to answer it first. What a devilish move that was on the part of Carlos.
Okay.
I-
Phil seems to have an answer.
Yeah, Phil's
I
ready.
mean, I just reminiscing of last week with the Marvel characters, and I don't wonder what Chad said about that. Yeah, so that's what mythical creature I think I might be. I'm probably something fire resistant. To be honest, Baker.
Well, you're a baker.
Yeah, Baker. So I'm probably something fire resistant. You know, something that
Method.
Huh?
Method.
Sorry?
A
Method.
You're a mephit, that's cool. I know what I am.
I don't know.
I am a witch's familiar. I'm a cat.
Which is familiar.
Yeah.
Is it one that steals stuff, right?
One,
No,
it's one who likes to eat regularly and curl up by the witch's fire.
yeah.
Having
a
pets,
which is
yeah.
familiar.
Yep.
A fire method. Bex. What type of mythological creature?
I have no idea. I mean, like, there's a massive part of me that wants to say halfling.
This is a private troll moment.
But move on, and I'll try to do something else.
I had never even considered this before. I mean, my favourite mythological creature is harpies, so maybe
I think,
that?
yeah, go harpy.
Yeah.
Right?
Always go harpy. Good
Yeah,
choice.
I mean, where's the problem?
If in doubt, go harpy.
I
Go
don't
harpy or
know.
go home.
I think for me it's something like fairy, a brownie, a pixie, a puka, or like a satire because they're musical. And yes, a satire, I guess.
I mean, I think we're curious to think what you think, chat, as we were with last week's one, because I'm not sure the results of that, but
Oh
apparently.
yeah.
I've seen it put
That
a
would be
whole-
interesting. What mythological creature
Okay,
does the chat
I
think
delegate.
we
I
are?
delegate my answer to Cedar. Whatever she says.
Whatever she says is true.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions?
We always have questions. Next question. What Disney character would you be?
Oh my God, there's a theme,
I
isn't there?
delegate to
Yeah, there's a
Lane
theme.
Delegate to Lane.
because I don't watch those films.
What did
Baloo.
Oh, I don't know. Captain America.
You know that doesn't count. But now you have to choose a Disney princess to be.
Yeah. What?
Oh, Mulan. I mean,
Mulan. Yeah. That's
Oh.
So
If it's Disney character, I can't remember the name, but it's from Beauty and the Beast and it's the candlestick.
Oh yeah, Lumiere.
Lumiere.
Yes, yeah, there we go.
Lumiere.
Maybe I want to be Ham.
You want to be?
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
because he's evil Dr. Porkchop.
I'm Phil from Hercules. I'm grumping. I time. And I want to be.
any more for any more, Callum?
Question.
Okay, next question. Favorite random word?
Quintessence. I really like that word.
Favorite random word.
Discombobulate.
Ligature.
I assume it was in English.
Yeah.
You're the only
I mean,
person who could have answered in another language.
I'd always say for a British will always be supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Even though the sound of it is some sequestration.
Hey.
Goober.
Next.
In another language, my other favorite word is aufgeflogen. Airport.
Hanabi. Which means fireworks, but it's literally translated to fire flowers in Japanese.
I like Olga
That's my
Tudor,
favorite word in Japanese.
which is my favourite word in Latin.
Then there are many in Spanish, so let's skip that. Next one. Next
on.
Next
question.
question. If there are any more.
Peter, are you
Yes.
aware that there was a Twilight reference in last session?
Was there not a sparkly?
There was a Twilight reference earlier in the episode.
Oh no, I'm less. Because I remembered that I think there was some kind of sparkly vampires reference
You accused me of being sparky
in the
vampire.
previous episode,
Yes.
but I don't. So, have they elaborated on what the Twilight reference was?
I think we might have to ask the chat. Maybe
Yeah.
to elaborate.
Okay, but the answer to the question is no. I was not aware. I was blissfully unaware.
Here we go. Apparently, Silas just saying, "Hold on, Spider Monkey."
Oh, I have no idea if that's in.
I don't even remember Silas saying "Hold on, Spider Monkey," but there you are.
I don't
Yeah,
remember
when
that.
she was
No.
when she was climbing.
But I think anyway, the point is we were unaware.
Yes.
Probably because we have not.
We watch
watched
good series.
Yeah.
Oh, controversial.
Movie.
But the internet rises up.
That's a movie.
It's a movie series.
I will admit, I've read the books and I've watched the movies, so that means I can then comment on them, in my opinion.
Okay, so any other
I think we got a final question.
final question? Okay.
Okay. What VMT supplement would you put into development next?
What?
So what VTM?
Yeah. What VTM supplement would you put into development next?
Phil.
Yeah, I would put Phil into development for the next VTM.
Okay. Bex.
Come back to me because I'm thinking. I have lots of
Peter.
answers.
No, you can't do that on the ST. Carlos.
Hey.
Something around Second Inquisition. I really fucking love the Second Inquisition.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, there is some of it on
There's some in
Fall
the-
of London.
There's some in the Anarch one as well.
Yeah,
but
in
there's like-
Fall of London, Fall of London have some of it.
But I want more. I want an entire source book around the Second Inquisition because
Okay.
I love them.
That is good. For Vampire the Masquerade, I think either the book on the current state of the Sabbat, so the Sabbat book, which would, I mean, not that I'm trying to market the idea, but I mean, it would include one of the final clans left, which would be the Shmisk, or just one that they were talking about, sort of like a guide of to the clans, in which they could release the Shemisk or things like that, and and go a little bit more in depth into the clans. It would be like a supplement in which you would dedicate a chapter to each clan, so that you could go a little bit more into the detail of the clan, but not the lore, just the psychology, the philosophy, the different types of ways of playing it. I would think that either Sabbat or Dark Ages.
Well, it's funny you should say that.
Sabbat or Dark Ages.
Was that going to be your answer?
Well, I was going to say a reboot of Dark Ages Europe,
Yeah.
which was their book, which covered all the countries in Europe and basically gave you the basic information about them for Dark Ages. It was a really, really useful book. And they did a separate one for Dark Ages British Isles. But I think the Europe one would be really interesting.
Yes. But I think because also Dark Ages will give you ideas of
Dark
the
Ages
old
is super
clans,
fun.
especially if you're playing in
Salubri
around the year 1000, 1100. So you could put things for the Salubri, let's see how you fix the Ragnos. I would like to see you.
It'd be nice to see a reboot of Transylvania Chronicles.
Oh,
as
yes,
well,
or the
because it's so
Giovanni
fun to
Chronicles.
play, yeah.
Transylvania.
Sabbat book, Dark Ages. I mean,
think
those
Dark
are like
Ages,
pretty much like the
that's my jam, man.
staples. Like we're missing one sect under V5, and the Dark Ages has always been amazing.
Yeah. It's always fun.
Especially if you want to play throughout time, starting like in the year 1100 all the way to the Common Era. Then you can play Memoriams, which is something that is in the new V5 books. You can also play the Cappadocians / Hecata madness throughout the ages with
Which is
Oblivion.
awesome.
Which is awesome, yeah.
We usually say Dark Ages.
I was going to say Dark Ages, but also maybe a sort of a thing of certain historic. I mean, I appreciate Dark Ages itself is a huge undertaking, but I also think maybe something which gives you feels for like overviews of different key points in history or interesting points in vampiric history, because
Chronology.
yeah, because when you're doing like memoriams and things like that, where you maybe got older vampires who have lived through those times, I think it would be good for players and storytellers to have some kind of vampiric related source material for those times, because obviously you can just look into those historical periods, but if it's like, actually this is what we think was going on for some of these groups, or interesting points where you might want to have, it just allows, I think it's easier then to have elders or ancilla who feel more convincing, I suppose.
In Dark Ages British Isles, they did do a timeline that was the kindred chronology for a period of time, but because by the time that was coming along, the canon was already quite wide. it's quite fractured, and some of it doesn't hang together with what is in other books. Okay. So because now with V5 they've got an opportunity to kind of normalise all of that, and just and kind of streamline it a bit, because that timeline was quite a useful reference point of going, this is a thing that happened in the real world, and around about the same time this thing that happened in the Kindred world.
Yeah, they did something very clever on those when they took on like historical. They had the historical take on all settings, because Vampire had it on Dark Ages, where you would have like a couple of pages with like snippets and little paragraphs of what year, what would happen in Mortal, Kindred, Cain, the Kain life, and then Kindred life. Mage Sorcerer's Crusade had something similar, going through the Renaissance, the Quattrocento, 300, 400, 500, like with everything, starting with like the fall of the Roman Empire to the Ottomans, all the way to the end of that era. And then what had happened with the mages, they did the same with Werewolf. So those, super useful, because it helps you also set, so like, it's very difficult when you go like, we're gonna play Dark Ages. Okay, what year? Unless you have done your homework or you have something very specific in mind. Not much different between the 1200s and the 1300s, but there could be massive differences in the storyline. So maybe having those guidelines would be really good. So chronology, Kindred chronology. Sit down and put our heads together. Copyright, TM.
You heard it here first.
We could literally all just sit down and do a separate video about this, but we won't.
Yes, that's right, because we have a chronicle to tell. So thank you very much for your questions. Always very appreciated. Don't forget, I say throw very angry messages at Mitch if I forget, but you can also throw angry messages at Callum, because he's here as well.
We're in a double whammy.
We're a double whammy.
So I think Callum's diablerized Mitch.
Yeah. He's stolen his power.
I am now the benevolent master.
Oh no! Oh.
I'm just going to say, the look on your face doesn't look very benevolent.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not convinced about the benevolence. All right, so we are currently in a sort of a nebulous time, if you like, between the end of April and the middle of June. And there are various scenes, obviously, that we're going to play through as we pass that time. So, one of the scenes that we should do, I think, relatively soon is a Velvet conversation with Theodore.
Yes, although I've not had enough time out of character to think of a place to take him. So what you're saying is, can we assume that I've come up with an idea in character?
Well, okay. Well, we can maybe ask Carlos on this. Is there somewhere
I would know.
a kind of place you might like to hang out in or go to visit, or places like that in Oxford?
That
I would know about.
Somewhere, probably somewhere that has any sort of historical meaning, or any normal quiet sort of like a plaza with a cafe that you can sit down and watch people go by.
Okay. So then, in which case, I will have invited you to come for coffee or something. Again, to somewhere like that.
So it's relatively early evening. There aren't that many people around, but there are people about that you can kind of have as background to your discussion. And it's quite a pleasant evening. Fresh.
Okay. Thanks for coming out.
It's okay. Everything all right?
I owe you an apology.
For?
A lot of things. But before I apologize to you, because I need a fresh start. And that there's one additional thing that I haven't told you. So I need to tell you that. And then this apology will have meaning. Because after this, things will be different. I let you down, Theo, and that does not sit well with me. So, I've told you about Adam, I've told you about Wallace, I've told you all the things I've done except for one. And so the one thing is, Adam and I, we've been together for a long time, and so he and I are in a. Quite often we drink from each other.
So hang on a second. As you're coming to say that,
Yeah.
it occurs to Velvet that Adam didn't like it when you told other people about you and him. So to say that, you're going to have to make an intelligence and resolve check. Difficulty 6. Critical win.
Wait, what do you say?
Critical win will count.
So I have 5 dice for this check.
Yeah.
What do you say? 6?
Yeah, but
You need a critical.
you need a critical win. Critical win will do it.
Critical win. Never mind, you might not know this.
Some lesson.
Can I spend willpower in this?
Yes, you can spend willpower.
Why not? I don't know what those numbers mean.
Well,
Well, you have a potential crit. Ooh. 4 and a skull.
4 and a skull.
It was close.
It was worth it, I mean it.
It was very,
But
very
maybe I
close.
should pause, because maybe I haven't told you.
No, you haven't.
Okay.
When you go to, as you're building up to say it, you increasingly have that feeling that Adam would not like you telling Theodore this. He didn't like it when you told the coterie about the two of you. It was supposed to be a secret, and this is, if anything, the deepest secret that you hold between
Yes.
you.
Okay.
And you fully intend to tell Theodore, but at that, as you come to it, you just imagine that Adam will be really upset. And he's been through so much lately, and you just can't get the words
Okay.
out of your mouth. Moreover, did you say you got 4 successes and a skull?
Yep.
Yeah. Compulsion time.
I believe you're going to get a compulsion
Maybe with a-
as well.
Number-
This just won't matter, because I just won't apologise.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Number 3. I mean, this.
I tell you what, you can carry on your conversation for a moment whilst I deliberate what is the best compulsion to give you in this moment.
So, just to step back to the point before that.
So you've said everything you said apart from the blood
Yes,
bit.
okay, fine.
And that hesitation is very much how you've been feeling.
I can't.
So I assume I see the distress.
Oh, yeah.
I
Cover.
yeah.
You did not quite let me down, because I'm not in a position to be let down by you. I felt slightly disappointed, I'm not gonna lie. Of what I learned had been hidden. But the only reason I felt that way is because I care about you. Because you're a good friend. I trust you. Which is not something I throw around. I understand there are things that you might feel are important or critical. So in the spirit of our friendship, I only ask you to tell me this. Is this secret pertaining me, my bloodline, or Miyuki?
No.
Then you'll tell me when you're ready. As long as it doesn't affect me, Miyuki, or my sire.
It doesn't affect you directly, but it might affect you. Because
Might it affect me in the same way disobeying your sire affect me?
right.
In the same way that we're coterie mates and I would be affected by association?
It's possible.
Then
Theodore, it's not just about letting you down. You are different than the rest of us. You have honor and you stand by your word, and you are graceful and dignified in all of those things.
But I haven't been like this always. Life is a learning process, and there are many lessons that I have failed to understand, decided to ignore, or outright neglected. What I have now is a collection of values, morals, and ideas, behaviors that have worked well with me, that sit well with me, and that define who I am now. But this is, I think that the difference, why you perceive me to be all those things, is because we have been drawn into this world in which, by luck or design, I cannot say, it's just who I am fits very well with our kind here. And I probably would have to thank my sire in doing that. And Meliore, she recognized who I was, and she knew I would be a good fit for Oxfordshire. So that's why I might seem to be a perfect fit.
I am not a good fit, but I will try to be. And I told you before, you're the only person in this city whose word means anything to me. Because these values that the city has are values that I see in you. They're values that you uphold, and I did not take those seriously. I did not give them the due respect that they deserve, and I am sorry for that. I'm not a man of my word, and that has put you in a situation where you may have had to do things that called your values into question, and that is not acceptable. So this was to tell you that and acknowledge it, and to tell you that I plan to change things starting today. So we don't have to have a conversation like this again.
And I just let a few moments pass while we're like in our thoughts while people pass by. Apology accepted.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate you coming towards me with this and being sincere about it.
Miyuki gives good advice.
She always does, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does.
I think if I'm allowed some advice.
Sure.
I think in order not to overwhelm yourself, try to go one step at a time. Respect, you mentioned it, and that is paramount. And there will be many a situation in which it is required of you to respect the station, not the man or woman in the position. So do the station a service.
Right.
If someone is on a higher, call it elevated status position than yourself, it is either by merit or by inheritance. Because even spineless people can get into positions of power, but also the mischievous one. And those things need to be respected, not venerated. Someone who backstabs their way to the top needs to be respected, for they are dangerous. Respect takes many forms. Now, loyalty. That's where it lies. Only give your loyalty to someone who's worthy of your loyalty. Avoid buffoons, tyrants, and puppets. But respect their station. Because sooner or later, they will not be able to hold it if they're not worthy of it.
You're the second person to advise me to have patience.
Yes, whomever said that you should be patient is most wise.
Was that you have to make things right with him as well.
Patience, Velvet. You probably don't see it now. In a few years' time, a few decades' time, you will understand it. And I know this does not bring you the comfort, the immediate comfort that you would wish. But I was 50 years ago. I was desperate to understand my place in this world. I was a ghoul, an enforcer. But Miyuki was there. And I understood that only through patience would I learn the lessons that were taught to me. And it took a lot of patience to get Miyuki's attention.
I bet.
And a lot of pancakes.
She's one discerning lady, for sure.
So, speaking of her,
Yeah.
I don't want to make it awkward. I don't want to ask a favor of you
Of course you can.
right after this. But it's about her. It's more a favor for her.
Sure.
So as you know, the strength of the bond that Miyuki has with me is quite formidable. She's been drinking my blood for the last decade. But I swore to her that at some point I would let her off the bond so her and I could have a conversation, and then she could tell me what is it that she really feels, what she really thinks, unclouded by the blood.
Right.
Problem is, taking Miyuki off the blood completely means that she would immediately age about 50 or 60 years.
Christ.
Most definitely killing her in the process.
Alright, so we can't do that.
But what we can do is break the bond.
Yeah.
As long as she's bound to me, she cannot be bound by others.
Right.
So she can still have kindred blood fed to her, so she can be kept young and alive, while the strength of my bond diminishes until a point that she can regain her free will absolutely, and then we can decide the future steps. Of course, it's not on the cards that she would stop being my ghoul, but the way we interact, the treatment she would receive from me, it would be shaped by those conversations. Right. There is the risk of her not being under the grip of the bond, that she might be seen as a threat to the Masquerade. Now you know her and I know her, and she's also a woman of honor, right, and of her word, and she would never threaten that. And I would like to think that she would never threaten me with her free will intact. So it'll be a short period of time. It'll be a long process. It'll take months to get her to that state, but then during that short period of time, we just need to have a little bit more care with her.
All right.
And I need others to help me provide with the blood. It's not going to be many different times. Maybe once or twice I will be seeking assistance from other people. So this is not something that I plan to do right away. I need to find people that I can trust, both with the task, but also with with being discreet. So, for a long period of time, 6 to 8 months, try to win her out of the bond.
All right. What do I think Adam would think about this?
What do you think Adam will think about Miyuki and
the idea of me giving my blood to someone else? I mean, I appreciate he's not suggesting in the way that I do this with Adam. Yeah, but yes, but
you're not sure because it's odd.
Okay.
You know, as in, if it was you giving your blood to someone else in a sort of romantic or in a kind of hedonistic fashion, it would feel very different. But you're not 100% convinced that he would be happy about it. You know, you're not sure, I think, is the point. He is normally very reasonable. And he is a lovely person, as you know, one of the nicest people,
in the world,
if not the nicest person in the world.
However,
you couldn't put your hand on your heart and say for sure.
Okay. I absolutely want to do this for you, but in the spirit of the conversation we've just had, I need to check one thing first. Can I come back to you?
Absolutely. I don't require an answer from you right now. As I said, it's not immediate. I am just aware that it's been 10 years, and I promised her.
Oh,
so I'm doing my part.
I would not want to break a promise to her for sure. All right.
Okay.
And then I probably would ask him about Adam, but in a sort of passing way.
Like in a small talk kind of way.
And other topics outside Kindred Society. Freddie?
Frankie
Frankie is the steak frozen torpor people in the fridge. I asked about Freddie, again in a passing manner because I know he's still looking after his son.
Okay.
Maybe joke about tattoos and shit.
I mean, I'll engage in this conversation, but I will tell you that I don't know what to do about the latest information that I discovered about my kid. Yeah.
Which is
two relationships.
Sorry, again?
Well, you know, he's a good-looking kid, right? So but I discovered when I was there that he seems to be involved with two separate people, and this seems to me to be, I mean, not correct, right? So, but I mean, he thinks I'm dead, so I don't know what to do about it.
Well, he's young and he's probably curious, or he might not understand what he's doing. That does not excuse it.
Theodore.
At least. But I'm not It's not my position to approve or disapprove, but I will tell you again, loyalty. If you're committed to a relationship, loyalty there should be a part of it. I know you cannot do anything about it.
I don't know. I think it's possible I can.
No, you cannot.
I can. I'm not talking about...
Well, you're not stupid, but...
No, I'm not stupid, but it's fair to say that I did not.
You want to gently nudge him in the right direction?
No, I was thinking of nudging the others in the right direction.
What did I say about intervening in your son's life? Be there for when he falls, but don't avoid the fall. If he's gonna get smacked across the face by life, or one of the spurned lovers, let that happen. Let that teach him a lesson. And then, once he picks himself up, with or without your remote assistance, you can see what you can do to help.
All right.
But just don't interfere. It's gonna be hard, but
It is hard. I mean...
he's gonna get what is coming. Just try to make sure that you don't make things worse.
I mean, there's a separate point about how these people are being treated, but...
Yes.
And I was not... I did not treat his mother as I should have. So, I don't think that he's aware of that, but I'm not sure.
Well...
So, I just... things cycle around.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
All right.
So when you part company
Yes.
with this wisdom in your mind
Yay.
and this idea of being patient and being considered,
Yes.
and it has merit,
Yes, it
obviously
does,
Velvet
yes.
can see all of that, but there is a part of you that feels a need to find some balance as well, because you are Ventru, and it is your clan compulsion that comes into your mind, which is the compulsion of arrogance. So essentially, Velvet is aware that he's going to need to be respectful to all of these people and not do the things that he wants to do. So a part of him is yearning to exert his will on someone else.
Okay.
So the way this compulsion works is he is filled with a desire to make someone obey him. Doesn't matter who it is, as in it can be anyone. But until such time as that has happened, if you are taking any actions that are not revolving around making someone do what you say,
Yep.
that feeling is going to distract Velvet and make it harder for him to do other things, so he will be at a dice penalty of 2 dice.
Okay.
So any action that is not in the service of getting someone to obey him. The order must not be enforced with disciplines
Okay.
for it to satisfy the compulsion.
Okay.
It's such a good thing it kicked off after you left.
So he doesn't have to just order everybody he sees around. It's that he's feeling this need to make someone, he's got to keep bowing down to all of these people and doing all the things. So somewhere, the Venture in you wants a balance. Wants to say, yeah, but if I wanted to, I could make people do what I want. And you need to prove that to yourself and see it happen.
Okay.
All right, so a question to you. What are you intending to do with Denton over this period of time?
Talk to her. Simple conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Denton.
So let's assume we're in the Haven.
Yeah.
Probably in the surgery.
So, our friendly intruder, Denton.
Sorry, is this just the 2 of you, or is this a coterie? Just so
Just
people
the 2
know.
of us.
Okay.
Okay.
Just the 2 of us.
Sorry, carry on.
We have leave to do with him as we see fit. The punishment for trespassing and getting all the way to Ardmain, I would assume is final death, especially because it's not the first time he goes about it. And at some point, you seemed very adamant on, killing the man.
Doesn't have to be me, but
Joanne, can you make an intelligence and occult roll?
okay. That's to.
So it occurs to Joanne, there is another thing you could do with Denton, which is that...
The thing I offered to the Thinbloods?
Yeah. He would be able to have the same effect that you would on them. Just to kind of flits through your mind, as you've had the conversation relatively recently with the Thinbloods.
It doesn't... I think it would be better if it wasn't me. Maybe, as long as I'm present, it would be a good... Hand him over to Sir Holder. Make sure it's done ourselves. She knows I'm...
She dedicated that to the Veem, so I can always behead him and be done with it.
Sally might want the satisfaction.
He tried to frame her. Fair enough. Would you mind contacting Miss Herg and tell her of the current situation and let me know what she said?
So yeah, I'm going to try and contact Sally and...
Yeah, you can get in touch with
Basically,
Sally.
I leave it on Joanne's capable hands.
Yes.
And
Okay.
if she comes back to me saying she doesn't care, then I sashimi the guy. But if not, then I hand it over.
So, she will want to be there, but she's not fussed about doing it herself.
Whatever she wants to tell me.
Yeah, so I'll say... So, I think she, like me, wants to be there. I'm... Again, I don't have to do it. It would be satisfying. But have you seen Silas's swords? I don't think I could lift it.
It's okay, I have something. And I just make arrangements for Miss Herx to show up. And I
Sure.
tell the others, like, this is not a public execution. This is what I'm gonna do. If you want to be present, I'll be in the shed.
Silas would be present for
So
that.
Silas is going to be there. Is Velvet going to be there for the execution of Denton
No.
Fess?
I'm not going to hang around while people are murdered.
I mean, that seems reasonable.
That seems distressing.
Sure. So Joanne, I assume you're going to be there, and obviously Theodore, you are going to be there. You said you have a thing in mind.
Yeah. A 3.5-foot long katana.
Okay.
I'm just gonna behead him.
Okay.
It's simple.
So-
I mean, he's already in 4 types of different.
Yeah, he's torpid. He's torpid cubed.
Yeah.
So,
Something like that. I
or
mean, he's not
Inception
frozen, but
torpid or something.
He's torpid.
Sure. So essentially, you bring out Denton's body. Silas, obviously, you'll be there to witness this. Joanne, you are there. Sally is there.
As this kind of first sort of thing that Silas is in, Silas hasn't changed, so he's now wearing a sort of bandana around his head, and he is also now sporting a navy blue leather jacket.
Okay. What have you done with your hat, Silas?
He would have seen if it could be at the funeral, so sort of later.
Okay, yes. So it's
later on.
well, Silas' funeral won't have necessarily happened quite yet, but yes, you can make arrangements for that to happen. That's not a problem. All right. So essentially, you will bring out the body. Sally will watch, and you will behead Denton and bring him final death.
I turn around to Sally.
Sally nods at you and says something kind of under her breath as she turns, which you will probably catch, Joanne, which is, he made the wrong choice. And she goes.
I collect the head
Yep.
and the body.
Yep.
Of course, put them in some sort of body bags. We need to replenish the body bags on the surgery. Mm-hmm. So we need to put an order for that. And then just go inside, change shirt, get the shovel, basic stuff.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So are you essentially are you
shovels for the 2 of us?
so are you burying Denton somewhere in the grounds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere in the grounds.
Yep.
Somewhere.
You bury a body. I will make a note.
Just as I'm standing there, just... I said I'd take everything. Who's the winner now?
Let's walk.
Okay. So that's the Denton question answered.
And that's my ambition fail.
Yes. So you can. Do you have any aggravated willpower damage?
I do not.
So, quick moment. We are house ruling this because I've always felt it is slightly unfair because ambitions are quite hard to reach or achieve or make steps towards. So what if you don't have aggravated willpower damage and you make a step? It just feels for that to be lost is a shame. So what this means in Joanne's case is the next time, essentially she's had this big moment of victory and so she's been bolstered by it. Obviously she will choose a new ambition at this stage. But it also means the next time she would receive an aggravated point of willpower, it will convert to superficial because she is more robust at the moment. She's boosted by this victory. So she's got that kind of in her corner until it's needed. Because I feel when you guys meet your ambitions, you should be able to, even if you haven't got the aggravated willpower, you should get the benefit. So there we are. All right. Now then, in this time passes, I'm definitely coming to a scene with you and Isabel. I appreciate we have 2 touchstones that people want to connect to or reconnect to. So, and Silas, what about you? Is there anything you wish to do between now and the game?
Yeah, I'm going to see Finn to do that thing and message you about. I'm also going to heal as well.
Sure, healing is trivial.
Yeah.
So you basically want training from Finn.
Yeah, training from Finn for that, which I'm messaging.
I will handle the mechanics of that because they won't necessarily be relevant this session.
Yep.
But I will handle the mechanics of that with you out of session.
Yep.
We can do that. Do you want to have an actual scene with Finn, or is it you just want to see him and train with him?
Yeah, just see.
Sure. He will appreciate your visit and will be glad to support you in this endeavour. He is very... What's your ambition at the moment, by the way, Silas? Because Finn's very keen that you make it, that he becomes a knight. But if you've got another one, that's entirely your call.
His ambition is to try and get them both to be knights.
Okay. I think that's... Yeah, no, fine. So your ambition is for you and your sire to be knighted. So significant steps towards that happening will be able to recover aggravated willpower. Yes.
So I need to know if your intention is then to kind of skip towards the games.
Yes, but we will do scenes on the skipping.
Does Adam call me? And also, can I have a conversation with him about this?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. We can do that. Regarding Alex, your touchstone, are you intending to try over this several months period?
Yes. I need
how-
Theodore's help.
And this seems to
I
me
basically need someone's help to get me into the house.
okay. Who are you asking?
Well, it's breaking and entering, so probably Theodore.
Okay. Okay. I suspect this is not a kind of a, if you like, this is a fairly
Yes.
straightforward action. So I will come to you about what it's like when you get there.
Sure.
Let's see, where are we going to go next on our magical mystery tour? Let's go with that. Let's do the touchstones next. So Theodore will help you. It's a farm. It is not a high security farm. The only real issue is there is a dog.
What? It's not high security? It seems really high security.
When you go back, it doesn't seem, now that Theodore's with you, you know that awful thing? Now you brought someone else, it just looks like an ordinary farm. Very much not, very simple, almost deliberately low-tech,
I'll be like-
simple.
He looks like he took the fences down.
So what would be that you tell Theo that you want to
So I
talk
need
to this person?
No,
you want this
he
person
thinks
dead?
he thinks I'm dead.
Oh, he thinks you're dead.
Yeah, so I can't talk to him.
Okay.
But I want.
You want to know how he's
I want to know
doing?
how he's doing, right? He was a good friend of mine. I was a good friend of his. That sounds strange. But
So what's your approach to see what he's up to?
so my intention was to go and plant some kind of surveillance stuff in his house. So
Okay.
we only needed to break in once, so that if he could take care of the dog,
Okay.
yeah.
And are you going to try and take care of the dog?
I mean, not like
No, I
Theodore.
have an amazing idea.
Okay, fine.
How come I walk around, tell him that I am interested in buying locally, and it would be nice if we could meet in 1 or 2 nights when you have all the gear you need.
All right.
maybe for a cup of coffee, and I invite him, his wife, the dog, whomever,
Right.
to the local pub.
All right. That
And I
sounds-
tell him that I'm doing that with all the neighbors.
All right.
Then you will have an hour or so.
But how am I going to pick the lock? Because I can't do that.
I can help you with that.
Right. Okay.
And then you do you.
All right.
It's going to be fairly straightforward.
Okay.
Because I have been into looking into the real estate market.
Sure.
With all the things.
This is not a terribly difficult undertaking.
No,
You're
no.
inviting them out of the house. You're going into the house.
Yeah.
It's fine.
In a couple of nights' time, just have a sit down, maybe have dinner on me. I just want to know
Sure.
how long have they been living there? Do they
Yeah.
know? And I ask all the questions I've asked.
So you have a nice chat with this nice family. They are very much people trying to live the good life. They're both people that used to work. Well, he particularly worked in the city, and they have basically started up a farm together. And they're trying to live entirely naturally and grow their own food and use as little kind of external things as possible.
And how about electricity?
They will talk to you about their renewable solutions, what they're doing, and everything else.
Great, because Theo knows very little about that. So he's like, okay, bring me into the 21st century.
So they will talk very like people that this is their passion. They will talk animatedly about it to you, and they will be very sweet and doughy-eyed at each other as well. So you will obviously hear about this at some point, Velvet. You will also install some cameras, and you will see. And one of the things that you will notice about Alex, so he's now on kind of his cruise to 40.
Yep.
Is that he looks kind of more solid looking, both in that he's eating heartily, but also that he's physically working a lot more.
Okay.
And it seems to suit him. His hair is starting to thin a little bit, but he seems very much as in love and seems to be living the kind of country dream that one can only do when they have huge amounts of money to start them off. But he does seem to be doing that. He does seem to be happy. And in the talk with Theodore, but also as you then over the coming nights spy on him through your camera, it will feel slightly dissatisfying, like a bit of you wants to go there in person and see him with your own eyes. Nevertheless, you see enough evidence to see that they are making a go of this. Sure, there are lots of things that look a bit patchwork or like they've made an amateurish job of it, but it's basically working out, and they are still, their love seems fueled by this, and it reminds you about the fact that people can make their own way in the world, and so can you, and your conviction is refreshed.
Thank you.
So let's jump to Joanne briefly. You also have a
Conviction, yeah.
so what are you intending to do regarding Noah? How are you intending to contact? Because he obviously believes you're dead.
Yeah.
So what's your approach with him?
I think contact him under my mask,
Yes?
and so I need to meet him somewhere and to talk about me.
Okay.
So it's like to talk about Joanne.
Yes.
As Leah Silversmith.
Yes. And then are you intending to actually meet him and talk to him? Or are you just... Oh, okay, so you're actually going to meet him. Are you taking any steps to not in any sense look like you? Or are you just turning up and being like, surprise?
Well, he would know me. He would know previous me as someone who dressed relatively well, and now I'm not. So
Okay, but you are still essentially the same person. You are relying on that. I'm just saying it's, shall we say, high risk.
Yes. Bush of life, of course.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Oh boy.
Hunger 3.
Oh shit.
So, Noah is a middle-aged Jewish man with sort of dirty blonde hair. He's very, very tall. And he is...
Silas tall?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but not Silas Broad.
No.
But then
And he has the look of a man who often works in the dark. And so, he's quite pale.
It's a vampire.
You know he is not a vampire, or at least he wasn't the last time you saw him. When you meet him, I am going to make a roll. Are you making any attempt to perform as if you're different, or disguise yourself in a kind of in mannerisms or voice or other things, or are you just wearing different clothes and turning up and hoping that he won't notice?
No, I'm hoping he will notice. I'm hoping that he, because the route I'm intending to go with this is like, hey, I'm not dead. I faked my own death.
Okay,
but...
okay, all right. So
That always works so well.
Yeah.
Where are you asking to meet him?
It's in like a park somewhere, like not,
Okay.
just like while walking. Like, plan is to just walk around and
Okay.
have a talk.
So he's a punctual man,
Yep.
and he's there in the park, waiting. He's wearing quite a heavy coat, and he has his hands in his pockets, the pockets of that coat. And when you approach, he will immediately double take, and then say,
Long time no see.
Joanne.
I faked my death.
He says, "Come with me into the light. Come with me into the light." And he'll walk, because obviously you're in the park. It's quite dark. He'll move towards one of the edge of the park where there are some street lights, and he looks at you, and he says, "I wouldn't believe it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. What? But it was in all of the papers. I mean, I don't understand."
We've always shared a common sense of what's right and what's wrong, haven't we?
And I always warned you it would lead to a violent end for you, and I was right, or at least I thought I was right. I don't know what's happened now.
Well, as you can see, and I kind of just like, again, same with McAllister, kind of like, I was operating on a patient, and long story short, blood-to-blood contact happened. Accident with the scalpel, untrained surgeon, and I contracted something, and I thought, with the last time I have, why not make it count?
But why pretend you're dead? I don't understand. Was someone found you, or what?
It's far easier to work and not have murders put on your name when you don't exist anymore.
So are you saying to me that you're on a clock and you want to do something with that time, and that your life is forfeit anyway?
Basically, yes. So I thought, yeah, why not go out and do what we talked about?
Well, this isn't how I imagine things being.
Me neither.
But all right.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry I didn't contact you earlier, but it's been a little hard trying to walk around when the world knows you're a dead woman.
He looks around. Yeah. Obviously there's no one here, but he kind of does it anyway. And he says, well, obviously I assumed you were dead, and I haven't been involved in any of that for some time, but that's not to say there aren't still some names on a list.
Exactly. I intend to cross as many of them off as I can before.
So, if I want to speak to you, I should contact this Leah Silversmith.
Correct.
You're sure you want to do this?
Of course.
You wouldn't rather spend your last days on a beach somewhere? Or at least in a library or something?
Second one's definitely more my thing, but no, I thought I'd make a change. Well, I still could. My research got out there, and I haven't been following it. I hope it saved lives, but sometimes you have to take things into your own hands, because some people aren't redeemable.
His face hardens, and he looks sort of past you as if he's thinking about something. He says, that is true. And irredeemable people should not be allowed to do harm to others.
I've taken out about 8, 9 of them at the moment.
Well, I'm sorry this is happening this way. but I'm not sorry that the work isn't over.
Absolutely not.
You should go and do something you enjoy, because I'll be in touch.
Excellent. It'd be good to work with you again.
I'm serious though.
Yes.
Do something for you. You know how well this might wind the clock forward somewhat.
Risk accepted.
All right.
Stay safe.
He will leave you there. And yes, you've reconnected with your touchstone. Your conviction that monsters deserve to die has been refreshed. So, I believe I owe you a conversation with Isabel. And then I've got a couple of other bits and bobs as we move towards June. And I owe you a conversation with Adam as well.
Ah, yes.
So, let's go with Isabel first. So you probably meet at her place. You're obviously meeting very regularly at the moment. There, of course, isn't in some ways often a lot to discuss. Mm-hmm. However, she will, on this particular evening, when you sit down and you make yourself comfortable in her sitting room, she says, "How have things been at your end, Theodore?"
Not great. I haven't seen Miyuki days. I am actively avoiding any social contact with court and the higher levels, just to avoid anyone. I mean, under different circumstances, I think this would have been an amazing opportunity to gain minor boons out of people who would want to have a chat with a mago and would need someone to help them, not only secure an audience, but also coach them, help them translate even. It would have been good. Also because I would have spent more time with them.
Yes.
I don't even know how I would look at him after what he has asked of me.
On the subject of boons, I might have some news. Not an answer, but perhaps a way forward. Transpires that during the Sabbat War, Tokyo, the help of Meliore was purchased from Sir Enolf at the cost of a major boon, which is currently held by Sir Enolf over Lord Amargo.
I would have thought the nature of the boon was... Of course I understand that Meliore was... Well, her help was instrumental in my battle, but I would have assumed that I was what she got out of it, and I wouldn't have put it as a major boon. She got a ghoul, a useful one, but...
She did indeed get a boon for her services, but however it was done, Sir Enolf, for his part in that war, also holds a major boon, and he has not yet called it in. Now, obviously, Sir Enolf is not aware that any of this has transpired, but it seems to me that one way out of this, if we could find a way to either persuade Sir Enolf to use that boon in our favour, or if we could find a way for him to exchange that boon into any of our hands, we could then use it to that end. I've been thinking long and hard about how we might do this, but I have not yet had any inspiration.
You do realize that us having that boon and exchanging it would very much make it a level playing field between, well, the situation at hand and Lord Amago's desires, which does not mean in any way that he will stop at his efforts of seeing Meliore undone.
I understand that.
So I believe the way forward with this is to have Sir Enolf exchange the boon for protection of Meliore.
Yes.
Is to have Amago be, in a part, major or minor, responsible for the safety of Meliore. Anything that falls on her, it looks bad on him. He might then feel the need to change his boon towards me from destruction to protection of my bloodline, since he will not be able to enforce it all the way from Tokyo.
I will... I concede that this is a good approach, but it still requires us to persuade Sir Enolf to make that decision.
Now, how does he feel about the prospect of Meliore being knighted?
He has never been in favour of it.
Has he given you any reason? Has he been...
It is often the case that he feels it is not fit for a lady to be a knight.
Mm-hmm.
An opinion that is not popular with all of the other knights, of course. However, my private suspicion is that he does not wish to see Meliore specifically knighted. That his protection only extends so far. And Theodore, I do not truly believe that Sir Enolf likes Meliore, even. It is a complicated relationship between them. One in which I am part of.
And what do you think about that?
What do I think about what specifically?
Oh, your sire being disliked by Enolf.
It concerns me deeply. I'm not saying that he could not be persuaded, merely that he will need to be persuaded somehow. I've also been looking into the matter of helping you arrange this tea ceremony.
Yes.
Bringing Sir William and Lord Amalgo and Sir Enolf perhaps together. It is difficult, for they all have their own concerns and are slow to respond to communication. Moreover, Sir William has been particularly difficult, despite his enthusiasm, to get a response from at the moment. I have heard nothing concrete, but a rumour that he is experiencing something that demands his attention, something else is happening. He, of course, is not keen to part that information to me, but I was able to glean enough to know that there is something that concerns him. It is not a lack of desire to commit to a date, more that other things demand his attention.
Well, he has been nothing but a friend to us ever since my test of metal.
Yes.
I will try and get in touch with him and offer my services. After all of these years, I still think he's owed that level of respect. Not only as a founding knight, but also as someone that has showed deference to our bloodline.
Yes.
But I will try to have that independent from the tea ceremony.
There is one last thing that I have discovered
Yes.
that is some good news, at least. As you know, the games are approaching.
Yes.
Lord Amalgo has been asked if he would be one of the judges of the event.
Okay, so he will not leave until after the games, at the very least.
At the very least. And there are always various celebrations afterwards.
Okay.
So we have some time at least. If we could secure a tea ceremony with knights and elders before then, we could also postpone him leaving until after that.
Oh. So having the tea ceremony after the games.
Yes.
Absolutely. Let me see what I can do for Sir Engel, for Sir William, and try to arrange something along those lines.
Yes.
So, thank you for this. You've given me a lot of homework. I'll get right onto it, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Very well.
And then I start making arrangements. I want to get in touch with Sir William, so I would assume I use the normal channel I use whenever I invite him for a tea ceremony, which is through one of his ghouls or someone like that.
Sure. So you're going to be kind of in the process of trying to secure a date.
Yes.
Which we will.
Not a date.
A conversation about him needing help, or how you can help him, how you can serve him.
It's basically, it has come to my attention that you might be in need of assistance with your own matters. Okay. If you wish, my services, are at your disposal. If not, I mean, he's a knight. He can say no to me anytime.
Okay.
I don't care about it. Like, it's not. I'm gonna take offense at that. It's basically it has come to my attention this rumor of him being in a situation where he might require assistance. The details are vague, but I thought I would pitch in.
All right, I guess you can make a charisma and etiquette. So, Adam, you want to talk to Adam?
I want to see if he calls me. Because whenever I would have sent him the note, there was a date on that, which was the date I was expecting him to call.
Yes.
Whatever kind. So obviously, at that time, I will.
You'll be waiting by the phone. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. All right.
6 successes.
Yes, he will agree to see you. However, the conversation that he has with you is something that we won't have time for in this session. But he will agree to see you.
I'm not expecting him to say yes immediately. No. He will say, "I will see you in 3 weeks' time." Yes, sure.
Yeah. But he will accept your request to speak with him, and you get that no problem.
Silas would, of course, be watching the news as well, seeing what.
Yes, of course. News of your death will come out over this time period, and Silas's funeral will occur. If there's anything clever you want to do about that, we can absolutely kind of touch on that, maybe in a memoriam, because we're not going to do it today. But there is a scene I'm going to do with you before we close. So, Velvet.
Yes.
Yes, Adam will call you.
Okay.
I should add, we don't again need to play it now. Has Velvet got any thoughts about how he's going to give someone an order, or who he's going to order around?
Well, he's got a thought that it's not going to be Adam.
Sure.
No, I've been having those thoughts, but I don't have anything at the moment.
We can come back to that later.
Yeah.
So the phone rings, and it is Adam.
Okay. Hey.
Hi. I've missed you.
Missed you too. Oh.
How are you?
I'm not great. How are you?
I'm not that great either. I've been very angry. It's not like me.
I know. I'm sorry.
Good. I've been very angry with you. But that doesn't mean I still want to see you. Don't like not seeing you. Do you think we could... I know I've been saying to be careful, but do you think we could meet?
Oh, like that.
If we were careful, we could meet, couldn't we? Don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah, we could.
It doesn't have to be for long. I just want to I just want to see you, and
I want them to. I could come over.
I haven't been there, but I could go there. We could just have a quick, just a few moments. That's all I'm asking.
I know. I'm worried in case. I don't know if Wallace knows where that place is or not.
I don't know. But he could see us. What if he's watching?
That's what I thought. I think we should meet someplace else.
I'll make a plan. I'll find a place. I'll hire a place, and
You just send me the address.
I will.
Time.
I will.
And I'll meet you there.
I will. And we'll find a way. We'll be more careful this time. I can't not see you, Velvet.
No. I can't be without you.
Okay. Then we'll just do it better.
All right. We'll be smarter.
Yes. We'll be smart.
All right.
And the cool end there.
Okay.
So obviously time will pass. There's a couple of things we might touch on next session, but before we finish this one, because we're about to kind of lead into the games, there's one scene I would like to do with Silas. So this is in fact on Saturday itself. So just to give you a little bit of background, and I might repeat some of this next week for clarity, it will be clear to you that those of you in the know, there is a lot of work that goes on to host the games. The games are held in the northern side of Oxfordshire, and that means the Northern Veem are responsible for security of that during that night. The Venators are also worked completely senseless in preparation to this. Those of you with political nuance will know. And many kindred are working very hard indeed. However, whilst it is the Northern Veem's responsibility, you will be aware that it is also the Southern Veem have to be on standby, because this is the fate of the reputation of Oxfordshire. So Velvet and Theodore, you will be aware that you are on standby. However, Joanne will not be available to you because she has received a special summons that we will come on to next session.
Fuck.
And of course Silas is competing, so he won't be.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's just Velvet and me.
Yeah. So you're
Just me.
so you
I mean, if it.
Wow, man. Wow. Wow. So
No, I mean, if it gets ugly, it's just me. I don't want. It's not that.
Okay.
It's usually also I don't want him hurt.
Okay.
So, I'll
So
get my gun.
wait. Hold fire on your guns and katana. We'll come to that next session. I'm just saying that you will be able to enjoy and watch the games, but if anything really bad happens that the Northern Veem cannot handle, or if multiple things happen, you are the backup standbys that will be called
Okay.
in.
But I mean, I will demand to know where Adam is in this.
So we'll come to that next session.
Yeah.
But just so you know, that's going to be your positions. Joanne, I'll explain your position next session, but nevertheless, Druty will arrive with a message summoning you, and we'll play that scene next time. However, this is going to happen kind of pre that. So this is the kind of the before you travel to the site of the games, where of course you'll then be met with Sir Holder, and there'll be lots of other official stuff going on. Finn will say the previous night he wants you to stay at his. He obviously lives in the North End anyway.
Yep.
And he lives, you will now realise, a stone's throw from where the games are being held.
Nice.
He lives right on the edge of where it is. So he will tell you it's the perfect place, obviously, for you to stay. So, the morning of the games the evening of the games will come to be. And when you awake, kind of aroused for the evening, Finn will come to see you. And with him, he is dragging a semi-conscious man. The man looks to be somewhere in his 30s. You think he's somewhere maybe Eastern European. He looks very pale. There is a sort of patchy growth of beard, but it looks scruffy and untrimmed. And he, aside from that though, looks quite muscular. He's not a bodybuilder, but his clothes are torn, and you can see that he is obviously someone who is physically fit and impressive in some fashion. And the other thing you will note, even without particularly powerful powers of perception, nor indeed, but you've got a little bit of medicine, is this guy looks a little bit like Eric did after Theodore was finished with him. He looks like horrible things have happened to him over a prolonged period of time. Finn comes in, and with this guy, he's dragging him like someone might drag a little doll behind them, like very casually. And he says, "All right, Silas."
Yeah. I don't mean to remember. What's this?
It's a gift.
A gift?
Aye, I've been preparing them for you.
Okay, and I'm supposed to...
Listen, Silas, you're about to fight on behalf of Oxfordshire.
Yep.
For your honour, the honour of Oxfordshire itself.
And our line.
And our line. There will be 4 domains, 5 in fact, present, watching. Perhaps other guests I've not heard of. Princes, Primogen, knights, elders, all the way down to the newly embraced. What you do tonight will be remembered for years to come. If we're going to be successful in our plans, you need to be successful tonight.
Aye.
So you cannot be distracted by the beast on a night like this. And this one, I've been working on him. His blood will make you strong. So drink deep. And don't stop until there's nothing left. Alright.
Now or when I will need it?
Now. You drink him now. Here. Where no one else can see us. You drink him here. We don't want them to know your preparations, do we?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Reading are doing alike.
I'm sure they'll all be trying their little tricks.
What did this man do to deserve this?
What?
Is he innocent, or was he like?
He's perfect for this task, Silas.
I'm rubbing off on you.
Sacrifices must be made. If you want to be a knight, this man has made his sacrifice for you. So you must accept it. He'll hold the man out to you. The man, as I say, is semi-conscious, but he's not with it enough to notice you.
Take him, and have I seen any sort of news reports or anything like that? With like,
when you look at him, you don't recognise him from he's not made major news in any sense. Actually, give me a. Actually, no. Sorry, no, don't. You don't recognise him. You don't. Yeah, he's not newsworthy. He just looks like a pretty fit guy who's had a really awful time over a long time.
We need this bad. And all my fangs?
You bare your fangs.
And I drain. Dry.
So you bite into him and you feed. His blood tastes unlike any blood that you have had It's strong, but strange. You feel your tongue tingling in an odd way, and a little bit of sensation fade from your body as you drink. You don't lose sensation entirely, it's just a sort of a muting effect of sorts. You drink and you drink. You are aware that you are going to kill this man if you continue. Does Silas continue? There is nothing in the Chronicle tenets to stop you. However, Silas has never done anything like this before. Finn is watching, of course, and you are aware of that. He's watching very closely. This blood does taste incredible. It's also worth mentioning.
Yeah,
it's very potent.
He will drain.
So, as the last drops go into you, a number of things happen at once. One is that this kind of weird muted sensation is present. You're aware. You don't feel like your senses are dulled. You just feel a little different somehow. Mechanically speaking, whilst this dyscrasia is in play, it means that you will not feel pain as you normally would, and you cannot be impaired.
Shit.
However, perhaps the thing that is even more striking for Silas is that when the man is dead, the hunger, which you normally keep at bay and you keep it low, goes completely. And strangely, in that moment, where you have done something one might argue is the most inhuman act, as a result, you briefly feel the most human. Because that desire to feed, that need, is gone. And you are left only with your own feelings on the matter when it is done. Regardless of how you feel, however, Finn will put a strong hand on your shoulder and says, well done. Now, let's go win the games. And that is where we will stop. Oh. Now, I'm pretty sure that nobody gained any stains that session. Don't worry, I'll get back on track next time. I do want to thank our super double team, tag team ghouls. It's a Mitch and Callum appreciation, so thank you guys.
Mitch and Callum appreciation.
I know my touchstone was named by a patron. Who was it?
Yes, your touchstone was named by Elf, so thank you, Elf, for supporting us. Noah Breslaw is the character you put forward and is now in the game, and you will see more of him perhaps in the future.
And I mean, perhaps somebody can draw some fan art.
I approve of your strategy.
That's the cheeky request.
And thank you, of course, to the players for being fabulous as ever.
Thanks to our storyteller.
Thank you, storyteller.
And thank you to all of you for watching. We really do appreciate you being with us, and hopefully we will see you next week for episode 8 of season 2, which will be the games. Finally, only 3 episodes late. Bing. So anyway, take care. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ta for watching this episode of Blood on the Tamesis. If you'd like to keep up with all the latest news, follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And remember, if you want to join us live, be sure to tune in every Monday at 7 p.m. UK time on Twitch. Or you can catch up on YouTube and our podcast. And a big thanks to our supporters on Patreon and all of you lovely disaster ghouls. We'll see you next time.